Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black business. I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black business. I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I in Black business. I am.
Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school, all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
The power of the written word is magic, like fire from the midday sun, like thriving roots from a young tender oak, like ocean waves reaching for the sky, like Black voices stretched across a space of regality and purpose, like yesterday's tears and fight becoming today's victory. The power of the written word is magic.
At the Hurston Wright Foundation, we are on a mission to empower and elevate Black voices. Our commitment is simple: to provide services, support, and opportunities that mentor, recognize, and build a community for both professional and aspiring Black writers. Our workshops and classes, led by award-winning authors, serve emerging and mid-career adult writers. We've been doing this since our very first class in 1996. Over the years, more than 1,000 Black writers have taken our classes. They've gone on to create books, embark on teaching careers, contribute to local cultural communities, and become national thought leaders. But at Hurston Wright, we're not just about teaching writing. We're about empowering voices. We provide the tools, mentorship, and supportive community you need to thrive in a publishing industry that hasn't always given Black writers the recognition they deserve. Through a social justice lens, we disrupt barriers and open access to information that's often out of reach due to affordability and convenience. And we're proud to offer the most affordable virtual courses available online, conveniently scheduled during evening hours. Our work is more than just education, it's social activism. We're breaking down systems that have traditionally limited opportunities for Black writers. And now, enrollment is open for the Fall 2023 Writing and Professional Development Institute. Led by award-winning professionals, our classes nurture both emerging and mid-career adult writers. In just 1 year, our virtual institute has empowered over 100 Black writers, refining their craft and updating their writing toolkit. Join us. Elevate your craft with Hurston Wright. Make your mark on the literary world. Hurston Wright Foundation, empowering Black voices, one writer at a time.
The Black Business Network and Black Business Olympics are essential platforms for Black business owners globally. They provide the tools and support you need to succeed in today's competitive marketplace. Join us today as we collaborate together with businesses from around the world to support our children, students, and young future entrepreneurs, Black businesses and corporations. We raise funds for students going to college and young entrepreneurs who are aspiring to be business owners, and we invite you to be a contributor today. Visit the website www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to connect with and learn more about how the Black Business Network and Black Business Olympics can help you not only share your amazing business story to businesses, but also serve future generations. Hello, my name is David Jones, CEO and co-founder of the Hello LLC, where we help businesses build a culture, brand and experience, and leverage technology to pivot into Web3. Join the Black Business Network streaming live into Roku, Metaverse, STEM City, Black Multiverse Enterprises, Hulu, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Apple, Facebook, LinkedIn, Spotify, Twitch, and Google Podcasts. Tune in, turn on, and let's thrive.
The Black Business Expo is changing my life. This year, they are giving away laptops and even $5,000 in cash to students just like me. I'm Alexis, and I want to go to college to fulfill my dream of becoming an entrepreneur. Help the Black Business Expo going to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com and also becoming a vendor, a sponsor, or donating.
Did you know?
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon, business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Eartha Watts Hicks. I'm the CEO of Eartha Tone Books, Eartha Tone Enterprises. I'm a member of the Harlem Writers Guild, and I'm executive editor at Harlem World Magazine and a PR writer and affiliate for blackpr.com. I'm also your moderator on the Black Business Network's Black Literary Olympics. Now, the Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate business owners about business. Now, our next speaker is Ms. Minette Coleman. Minette is originally from Atlanta, Georgia, but she's lived in Harlem for over 35 years. An active member of the Harlem Writers Guild, she shares her passion for research and elements of her family history through historical novels, and that's historical fiction. An off-Broadway actress and singer, she has worked with the creative arts team at New York University, and has written and performed Hand-Me-Downs, a one-woman show that has toured the southern states. Now, this part really gets to me, this part of her history. She is a graduate of Guilford College in Greensboro, North Carolina. Now, as a graduate of Guilford College in Greensboro, North Carolina, Minette became the historian for the Black Alumni Advisory Board of Guilford College and was inspired by a 300-year-old tree that was crucial to the Underground Railroad. And that tree served as the center for her latest work, her latest novel, The Tree, A Journey to Freedom, which is one of the most rich Underground Railroad slavery experience stories that I had ever read, and I thoroughly enjoyed that novel. So I'm happy to welcome Ms. Minette Coleman. Welcome, Minette.
Hello, Eartha. How you doing?
I'm great. Oh, this is wonderful. Thank you so much, Minette. Thank you for joining us.
And thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, first, I would love for you, before I ask you what I'm going to ask you, which is to read an excerpt, I would love for you to speak about your family history and how that has led you to embrace historical fiction.
Well, my great-grandfather was one of the last blacksmiths in Atlanta, Georgia. And he came over to Atlanta from Alabama. He did not know, he made his way to becoming a very middle-class person in Atlanta. And he didn't leave much information, I'd like to say, about that part of my family's history. This is on my father's side. And so that's why I wrote The Blacksmith's Daughter, because I wanted to create a family history that had a few of the elements that I was aware of. That my great-grandfather had 5 daughters. He had one son that had very bad polio. And he also had a shop in downtown Atlanta, which I don't think I've ever told you this, Eartha, but it was behind the famous Ebenezer Baptist Church. And that's his shop was there. And Reverend King's father or grandfather used to come out in the back of the church time to time and sit with my great-grandfather. And they would have what is lovingly referred to as ice water. So, it was called ice water. Okay, we'll just go there. Moving right along, my father was the city editor for many, many years of the Atlanta Daily World. And he met my mother, who was an accountant. I mean, she's still alive, but she doesn't practice anymore. She was an accounting student at the time at Lincoln University in Jefferson City, Missouri. They met at a poetry club. So that's where the whole writing thing started. And her background was that during World War II, she was one of the first, if not the first, Black woman to run elevators in buildings in downtown Chicago, because they were running out of, the men were off at war and they needed somebody to run the elevators. And I guess they thought, well, maybe these Black people know how to do this. So that's what my mother, one of her claims to fame, but also that she helped. She started a business, and she and her partner, another woman, got small business loans for Black people. They had never been able to get them before in Atlanta. So that was one of the things she did. So I come from a long line of people doing first things and a long line of Black history. And it's said that perhaps one of the signers of the Constitution is in my background. So it matters to me. We just write. So pretty much that's where I come from.
I listen to you, and just in what you're telling me right now, but I listen to you all the time, just share these nuggets of gold when it comes to history that my generation wasn't exposed to, because the first Black person to do anything was Martin Luther King, when he said his "I Have a Dream" speech. That's what the history books told me when I was in elementary school, not all these 10s and 20s, and even before the whole 19th century, the 18th century. We were doing things all throughout the history of America that we weren't even taught about. So
Right.
the fact that you capture this, bring it to life, and then you record those details, you're a griot. So what you do is magnificent, and what you do extremely well. And I'm grateful to have known and read your work. So let me start there. If you
Can
would
I
be so
add something? I want to add something to what you're saying.
so
The
sure.
the point about one being a griot and about history starting with Martin Luther King reminds me, here I go storytelling, that I have a one-woman show I used to do called Hand Me Downs. It's about one Black actress's journey to try to get to fame and fortune and realize it's not necessarily going to happen, but all the things on the way. And I did this play at a convention in North Carolina. And one of the scenes is about me talking about meeting Dr. King. Now in Atlanta, you would run across if you were my age, you'd run across Dr. King as a kid all the time. He was at Ebenezer. He was on the street, and my mother had an office in the back of this paint store, and he used to come in there a lot. And so I got to see him quite frequently. So I put the fact that, Dr. King was just a normal person like you and me in this play. And part of the audience, I think about 30% of the audience, were kids under the age of 18. They flipped out. They started screaming in the middle of my one-woman show performance. No, you're talking bad about Dr. King. And the adults had to calm them down, and I did too. I said, wait a minute. And the voice of the French teacher who was explaining to her class back when I was in high school in 1969, that the reason she said Dr. King was just like normal people was because she wanted the students to know our parents were heroes. She said, every time your mother complains about the fact that the meat is bad to the grocer and she gets something done about it, she's a hero. Every time your father refuses to take a job that is beneath him and he knows he can do something better, he's a hero. And she went through all of this and said, just like Dr. King. And so I know what you're talking about, young people not understanding. And so what they did was invite me to their session the next morning, which I didn't want to go to because it was 8:00 in the morning, but I went anyway, bless the children. And they asked me about other people and other things. And what I did was I asked them to tell me about the heroes in their family. And I think more of us need to do that with our kids, to tell them what their grandfathers and grandmothers did. And it opened up a whole world for these kids. And it helped me tremendously. I loved it. I loved it. So this is part of the fun about doing historical novels and about, counting history and remembering it and being able to tell stories.
Wow. Now, I don't want us to get away from you reading an excerpt, because I really want you to share some of your work, and then we can, circle back and get some questions in. But please share, if you have an excerpt ready, please share an excerpt.
I don't have one ready, but my books are right behind me. What book should we read from? Should we read from The Blacksmith's Daughter? Should we read from The Tree, A Journey to Freedom? I'll read from A Tree, A Journey to Freedom. How about that?
Yes, please. I mean, A Tree is my favorite book of yours. I adored that book. I adored that book.
I'm going to read an excerpt from this. The story is about a young woman from the time she's 8 until she's probably 14 or 15, learning that there is such a thing as freedom. And she is one of many slaves on the plantation. But she has a friend. She makes a friend there who is a new arrival. And this girl talks about freedom all the time. So, let me read this. The girl's name is Gal, and she was supposed to be free, but she ended up being purchased by not purchased, but taken by the owner of the plantation where Epsy, our heroine, lives, because her late mistress owed him money. So they're having one of the things that Black people used to do sometimes when they had a little free time was get together and they'd catch squirrels and rabbits and whatever, and they'd have, they roast them and they'd share them. They'd share the potatoes that they had been growing in sweet potato mounds and underground and stuff that they had saved. And they'd share it, and they'd have music. And so during that instance, she goes and she sits alone and talks with Gal. Gal, why you want freedom? Bright moonlight made plain the shock on Gal's face. The slits of anger returned. What you mean, Epsy? Why I want freedom, don't you? Epsy shrugged and looked back. Gal grabbed her arm. You listen to them women too much. They tell you it's all right to live here, don't they? Epsy tried to pull away, not appreciating the disparaging remarks about her mamas. She tried to make her face copy Gal's, her eyes to be slits of anger. She looked angry, but not as angry as she felt. They don't tell me nothing. I just figure I know what's here, and I don't know what's out there. Gal released her arms. Epsy, I'm sorry. I forgot you ain't never been nowhere. You ain't never seen freedom. The younger Gal perked up. You mean you can see it? Freedom? What it look like, Gal? Epsy, you make me laugh. It ain't something you can see with them like them possums on that fire. It's something you see in people and how they act. She got closer to Epsy and started whispering. When I got to New York with my mistress, I couldn't believe it. It'd be a big place with lots of people everywhere, and people like you and me walking around with their heads in the air and looking white folks straight in the eye like they didn't have a care. They be free. They own themselves. They ain't had nobody to tell them when to work and when to eat and when to sleep. And they could cook the same food the white folks cooked. Oh, Epsy, I almost fainted from seeing so much freedom. Miss Mariana, my mistress's sister, asked me if I wanted to look like them free Negroes, and I said, sure. So what she did was she sent me to the store one day, and she said, I want you to give this money to the store owner. And I was shocked because I had never been out on my own. I was going to walk out there with all those free people. So head up, chest out. That's how they all looked. And that's how I walked. I walked free. I was proud, but I was nervous. I said to myself, I can walk free. When I got to the shop, the white man who owns it said, what can I do for you, miss? He called me miss, not gal, not nigga, but miss, like I was a white lady. I told him what I wanted and give him the money. And he made sure the whole time I was standing there that he looked at me, and I held my head high and my chest poked out like I was free. Then he wrapped the package and handed it back to me with some more money. They call it change, and said I gave him too much. And then you know what he said? What, Epsy replied. He said, thank you for your patronage, miss. Come again. Can you believe it? When I stepped outside the shop, the whole world looked different. I just didn't want to leave New York, but Miss Juliana was homesick and I wasn't free on paper yet, so I had to come back here. But that's freedom, Gal said. That's freedom, Epsy. That's why I got to go back. And she said, I tell you one thing though, Epsy. Epsy said, what's that? And Gal said, after holding my head up like that all day long, my neck sure was so. They both crumbled into laughter as Gal added, freedom be hard on your body when you ain't used to it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. One of the things I really adored about this particular book was it answered so many questions about the slavery experience that I just didn't have answers to. Like, I would think there are no sick days. They had to work when there were no sick days. So whether they were sick, well, or feeling bad or whatever, what did they do when doctors weren't available for them? And there was a whole brilliant sweep of pages where you addressed that, just that one nagging question I had always had growing up, wondering about, well, what did slaves do for medicine and for to get well when they were sick? And you found ways to just weave that just so naturally and effortlessly into the story, answering those just from the culture of what was available to them during that time. So just in how you did that and how you incorporated the tree and her whole journey it was like a warm gumbo. If a warm gumbo is ever possible from a slave narrative, you nailed it. So I want to say thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for how you wrote this, how you researched this, and how you told this story, a difficult story, with love. Now I have to ask you, can you share a bit about your creative process, your writing process, and if you have any rituals or routines that help you stay focused?
Well, okay. I've been writing since I was 6. I learned how to write and print letters when I was 5. And this has to do with the fact that my parents were poets and that I picked up reading and writing early. And so one of the things I do, which is a really good habit for anybody to have, is I write something every day. I don't always write it on paper. I sometimes write it in my mind. And I have, like many other writers, next to my bed, next to my sofa chair, I have notebooks, and they're all over the house. One night when I was writing The Tree, I came up with an idea while I was in the bathtub, and the water was running and bubbles are going high. And my daughter walks in, and I'm standing up doing like this, right? And she says, "Mama, why don't you sit down?" I said, "I don't want the pages to get wet." So, you have to, that's what I did. That's what you do. So my process is I come up with an idea. Sometimes it doesn't work. And sometimes it's not what I want. And I'm like, that's not good. I mean, I have at least 3 novels lying around this house that I have written at least 800 pages on that I'm not satisfied with and that don't work for me. All historical. Okay. So when I finally get something that I want to write and I start writing it down wherever it is, Abraham Lincoln ain't got nothing on me writing on the back of an envelope or something. I will write something, and I have all these little pastes everywhere, and I put it together. Mm-hmm. But doing historical fiction, what you have to do this. You can't just pretend. You have to be accurate in the historical part of it. You can't say the Civil War started in 1913. Right. You're not going to get away with that. You have to be accurate. And so there are, ways to check your library research, even and Google amazingly is a big help, where if you find something, you can also find books. You can find contacts. I was looking for something one time, question, could Black women own property in the early 1900s in Georgia? Now, that was it. Yeah. Could Black women own property in the early 1900s in Atlanta, Georgia? Mm-hmm. And I ended up calling a certain library down there. It took me a couple of days to weather through finding different places, but that's what you have to do. And I got the answer, which was, yes, they could. There were a lot of other things going on that I found out. And here is the great part of writing historical fiction. When you ask somebody who is into history, like you're into historical fiction, a question, they usually give you more than you ask for. So the librarian, the woman that was there when I told her the time and the place and the year, this was supposed to be before the United States was getting into World War One. She said, well, the post office down here in the South colluded with um, the rich property owners so that most of the people who went into World War One from Georgia were blacks and had no land and had no property. And so how they did this was when they were sending out draft notices, you had a certain number of days to get back and say, I've received it, I'm going to do stuff. So if they saw in the mail a draft notice for somebody black, they would hold it so that they couldn't contest and say, I can't do this, I got to take care of my family. And then the day that they were supposed to be going, the day after they were supposed to be signing up, signing in, going away, they'd come and arrest them and take them. It wasn't really arrest, but the government said, well, they didn't respond to the draft notice, so they could take them and put them in the army. That's how a lot of black people before got into World War One. They didn't even know they had been drafted. They didn't know anything about it. And how that came about because the white property owners wanted their sons not to go into war. So this gave me more information than I was like, oh my God. And see, that's the good thing about doing historical fiction. Everybody got a story they want to tell you. They may not know how to tell it, but everyone has a story they want to share. And most of the time, they don't mind if you share it. So, right. This makes it even better. I do not have the kind of process that everybody else has. Hemingway used to get up in the morning and before he started drinking, he'd write for like 3 or 4 hours. I get up in the morning. Okay. So if I feel like writing, I write, but I usually have something I want to write. If I do want to write, my family has learned to leave me the hell alone. Mama or Manette is writing and she doesn't want to be bothered right now. And I also have learned to be in the middle of a room with a lot of people and a thought comes to me and I know I can't shut them all up. I just keep on writing. And that's always been a big help because not all the time you can find a space that's private to put down your thoughts, but if you can get most of them down. So I like to say that I write every day. In fact, before we started this, I started writing something that I'm working on for Writers Read, which is an organization that I appear with quite frequently, where it used to be called 650words.com. And they put out a challenge and you tell that story in 650 words and they pick the best to do it. So last year I appeared with them 4 times. So I'm working on, getting another story for them this year. And I had been, like I said before, working on stuff and it wasn't working. I didn't like it. I didn't feel it. And then I'm sitting here and somebody said something on the news and I was like, oh, so I have handwritten notes. Let's hope I can read them. That's all I hope is I can read them later on.
Wow. I'm already familiar with your work, so I just want to add your shorter pieces. I love how you bring it full circle and close it off. It's like you lead us into a journey. You sprinkle the history. You sprinkle those unknown details about history, bring it full circle and close it off. And when you do that in a tight space for Writers Read, it's almost like a song. It's so beautiful. So I want to say that.
That's part of that process comes from acting and being in theater. So I was taught if you see it in the first act, then you got to do something with it by the third act. So you can't have a gun over a rifle and people are like, why is that? A gun over a mantelpiece. And you're saying, why is that piece there? It's not being used or anything. It has to be used. You have to say something. So I like to go back to it, but it's also a song. I was at Goodspeed Opera House one summer performing in a play called Some Sweet Day. And one of the songs in the show was it was written like a folk song. The lyrics were, there is no, there is a circle here and it cannot be broken. And so as they told the story about the cotton pickers in the 1930s, that's what the play was about. It went full circle. And I said, oh, okay, that's great. And after that, it helped me writing more. You learn every day something new, but taking that from a historical play and then being able to put that into your writing, especially when it's short, because a lot of times people write stuff and then it ends and you're like, I can't connect the end to the beginning, but isn't that what it's about? And you want to make sure that they understand what it's about. So that's what I try to do when I'm writing.
Wow. Are there specific experiences or stories from your life that heavily influenced your writing?
The most, of course, my second book, No Death by Unknown Hands. If I was 17 years older, it could have been my autobiography. My father was editor of a paper. And on Saturdays, since I was the oldest and spent most of the week helping my mom, who had a business, so she wasn't, so I had to help take care of the kids. On Saturday, I get the joy of walking with my father through downtown Atlanta and going to the Atlanta Daily World. And he had this long office, but it wasn't an office, it was a section. And they used to have, Associated Press used to have these machines that tick, 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 tick. And it was like an old fax machine where the paper just came off and there'd be hundreds, and it looks like hundreds of sheets of paper. And so I always knew everything that was going on because I'd stand there. And when it was time for my father to read the stuff, what he would do was he'd look at it, circle this. That's what he was going to keep. Other stuff he'd X out and throw away. And this influenced me more than anything else, being able to go to this newspaper in downtown Atlanta. And so my father offered one time to take me with him because I said, when I grow up, I want to be a journalist. He did not want me to be one. So, he said, you can write if you want to, but I don't think this is going to be for you. And I ended up writing for magazines in Atlanta and stuff like that. But this whole book has little instances that go back to things that happened to me a little bit when I was growing up. And one of the instances was a man got shot. No, two men broke into the house of a family a couple of blocks away. And the son knew where the father's gun was, and he shot both of them. So they found one guy laying in the driveway, but they never could find the other one. A week later, it started smelling in the area, and the house across the street had a front yard that was maybe a quarter of an acre big and a lot of bushes in it. And that's where the body had fallen, and nobody knew that. So my father said, oh, you always wanted to go to a crime scene with me. I was like 15 years old, I think. And I said, yeah. And my mother said, don't take that child. And I looked at her like, please, I want to go. And so he took me. He said, she wants to do this. She has to learn what it is. And we went there, and I never saw the body. I saw the displacement of the bushes because the body had bloated so much. And when I saw that, I was like, okay. But I didn't get back in the car. I stood there. The smell was awful. And this helped me. I put this in the book. There's a scene like that, not like that, but based on that in the book. So all these little things, one major scene in this book was an instance that scared me half to death. And it probably scares most mothers and young ladies. My mother sent me, it was raining real hard, and my baby brother, he was like 6 months old. So she sent me to the grocery store in a taxi, but it wasn't the taxi man she usually used. And the guy who picked me up was young. and put me in the back seat. And he said, my mother said, do not make any stops along the way. And he said, oh, no, Miss Coleman, I'm not going to do that. But he lied. He took me over to a part of town that was called Perry Homes. There were a lot of very, very unpleasant people there. And he picked up his girlfriend, and he picked up some of her friends. They got in the car with me. My brother was born, so I wasn't even 12 yet. And here I am in the back seat of the car with two drunks, because the girlfriend had to sit in the front with him. I'm sitting in the back seat with two drunks, and they're talking about, oh, your hair is so pretty. Don't get it wet. And they're touching my hair. And I'm trying to put myself inside myself to get away from them. And when we got to the grocery store, finally, my mother had called the man who was supposed to pick me up. And he, had called him through the grocery store. There were no cell phones or anything like that. So Mr. Jones, who was a family friend who drove the taxi I should have taken, was at the grocery store. And when the guy got out, when I got there and I got out the car, he said to me, are you all right? Back then, I guess I was supposed to say, I'm fine, but I didn't. I said, no. And he pulled the driver of the car out and knocked the crap out of him. So I put that in No Death by Unknown Hands. A difference, I made my father be the man who caught him. And, what the man said when he got up from the ground, he said, oh, we was just having a little fun. We didn't bother her. You acting like she a white woman. And Mr. Jones told him, she's better than a white woman. She's one of us. So that influenced me a lot. So things influence me all the time. And it's not always nice. It's not always fun, but they need to be shared. They need to be shared. Our history needs to be shared.
I'm Generation X, and I'm saying that to lead into what I'm about to say next.
Are you apologizing?
Yeah,
already.
Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves with the Emancipation Proclamation. Sometime later, Martin Luther King had a dream. Between the Emancipation Proclamation and Martin Luther King's dream, we were idle, right? At least according to my history lessons growing up from elementary school even to high school. And I didn't learn anything about Black history until I joined the Black Student Union in college. Now, I'm saying that to say this. How important do you feel a Black history curriculum is for not only Black students, but for all students? Understanding that we're not idle all of these years between the end of slavery and the Emancipation Proclamation.
Okay. I was thinking this morning as I was looking at Facebook, one of the things that has happened over the years on Facebook is Black History Month. More and more people are contributing instances of Black history that we do not know about. And for example, today, somebody posted that the person who invented the remote control, so your lazy butt don't have to get up and move the TV, change the TV, was Black. Okay, there are all these different things that were done. And one of the most powerful liquor houses in the world, I can't remember which one it is, but they are apologizing now to the descendants of the man who really invented and put together the Scotch whiskey, and giving him his own label. We did a lot, but what is happening right now that we have to be careful of is that when we say we want a Black history course, we also are saying at the same time, this is American history. But the problem is, are you going to allow it to be incorporated into American history? So if you're trying to get rid of, a couple of years ago, Scholastic magazine, not Scholastic magazine, but the books that were purchased, history books that Scholastic put out, were subject to the approval of the Texas entities Board of Education. So they took out a lot of what we already knew. And there probably could have been more, but they took it out. I mean, what's happening is we need to incorporate these things it's not just having Juneteenth, which is great that we have a holiday. So people have to talk about it because they're like, why the hell are we getting this day off? You can stay home if you want. But let me tell you what happened in Texas. Okay. And then, that's a way into a conversation. The curriculum that we need is one that encompasses everybody, but it can't happen until we start accepting that there is more to being Black than just playing basketball and being a movie star. So, and that's not just how Blacks look at it, that's how other people look at it too. So we need to be able to post history. And certain entities and certain organizations try to do that. Equal Justice Initiative usually has a calendar they put out every year, and it marks something that happened in Black history every day. It's a wonderful calendar. I don't know if they did it this year, but it's a wonderful calendar, and you learn a lot. And you go, I didn't know that happened. Of course we didn't know that happened. A lot of stuff is hidden. A lot of stuff we don't talk about. And now that you have people who don't want to talk about it, I mean, like the next thing we know is they will say, Obama wasn't president. So, this is, we're dealing with this. Why, I believe, is because there's a fear of sharing. It's not a fear of necessarily of Black people taking over, because we're not the only minority in this country that has complaints. The fear is you don't want to share the wealth, you don't want to share the power. And if you have to share the wealth and the power, you don't want to do it with people that you don't really know their history and that you did something to almost make their history obsolete. So we need to have some sort of curriculum when kids are, let's say, younger. So by the time they get to high school, history, American history, contains everything. So you do it young. That's how I feel about it. But I could change my mind tomorrow.
And to piggyback, I personally feel that Black history and a Black history curriculum, that curriculum needs to be from books and or books or lessons from Black authors. I feel that it should not be any other race writing Black history into our own American history. That narrative should come from us, specifically, whether it's, even if it's not you and I.
Yeah, part of the problem is being given the chance to do that. You can suggest a book, you can suggest a story, you can just suggest somebody come in and talk about the history, but oh no, because we are not the 800-pound gorilla in the room, it's not going to necessarily happen that way. And so you have to fight for these things. And you also have to be able to say, yeah, you only partially right. This is wrong. You didn't get this completely right. This needs to be added and this needs to be fleshed out and blah, blah, this and that. And they will look at you like you crazy, but hey, how do I know this? I got it the way everybody has gotten stuff since before we could write. I got it from my ancestors. They passed it down from word by word of mouth. That's how I know. And I wrote it down. Maybe they didn't because they couldn't write. That's why you didn't want them to write. But they could remember stuff and they could share their stories. And that's what we have to do. We have to take what we learned, whether written or not, and share the story. And that's why, that's how we can get our history taught and told better.
Thank you so much, Manette. Manette, I'm going to ask you two questions.
Okay.
For those of us who want a novel from Manette Coleman, autographed with her John Hancock all over it, where can we get those books autograph from you?
Okay. You can email me and we'll work out arrangements. My email, I don't know if it's posted anywhere, is Minette Coleman Diva. Yes, I am a diva. Minette Coleman Diva at yahoo.com. And if you contact me, I'll work out something with you. That's the easiest thing to do.
Okay, Minette Coleman Diva at yahoo.com is where we get our autographed copies. That's number
Right.
one. Number two, how can we connect with you online?
That's the best way to connect with me online, or you can connect with me on Facebook. Just look up my name on Facebook because I'm always writing. Right now, I have people who, weirdly enough, connect with me because they like the little vignettes I write about my cat, Mishu. And so I've been writing a lot lately. I may be thinking about writing a book about a cat, telling a story from a cat's point of view. So let's see how that works out. But Facebook or Minette Coleman Diva at yahoo.com.
Wow, thank you so much, Minette. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for enlightening us on these elements of Black history that I know I've learned a whole ton of stuff just from your conversations, from reading your work, and from hearing you share these details, these nuances of history that I would have never have known about if not being the Black person, younger Black person in the room while you're telling those elements of history that I wasn't even aware of. So again, I thank you. And Genius is common, and I will see you on the other side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. I encourage everyone to reach out to Minette and grab a copy of her books. Actually, I say get them all. I say No Death by Unknown Hands is wonderful. The Blacksmith's Daughter is wonderful. And my favorite book, The Tree, A Journey to Freedom, is absolutely wonderful. Grab a copy and read it. Even if you don't like slave narratives, you will enjoy how she infuses hope into that particular book. It is breathtaking. Now, the Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. So you may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund, or use the Cash App that's on the screen, the QR code right there. Or if the QR code doesn't suit your fancy, you can actually enter into the search window for Cash App, $BBXUSA. Again, Cash App, $BBXUSA. Now, our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackexpousa.com. Every dollar counts, so we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. We want to thank our Black Business Expo USA sponsors for February 2024, NC 100, Moody Capital Partners, Suede Soul, Lotus Riche's Coaching and Training, Carolina, Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, Step Management, BHS and Associates, Margie McLean Foundation Incorporated, Genius is Common, Earth Essentials, Mullane Shiny Global, Executive Women's Success Institute, The Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Services, Creative Force Studios, Lee Entertainment, Artistic App Design, Black Business Expo USA. Genius is common, and I will see you on the other side.
Absolutely. So our coaching program help people that have the lack of time, that lack strategies, and lack the confidence to go after their dream life. So we help them implement tools. We help them implement, I love to leave the inherited lack of finances or the education behind finances. But it wasn't until I lost my firstborn, my only son, that life changed for me. And where I was going after it all, living the corporate life, hit my 6-figure income, and living in my dream house with my dream man, driving my dream car.
Wow.
I nearly lost it all when I lost my son. And so I realized it only takes one financial catastrophe that can change your entire life. That's what made me start All New Beginnings. Because no matter what's going on in life, there's a new beginning. And because of that, we develop a program called Wise Minded. My little slogan is, don't just dream it, let's live it. If they want to connect with you or work with you, what is the best ways for them to be able to do that? Well, for my social media guru, you can connect with me on every single social media platform as Tanya T. Rose.
Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school, all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina.
Join Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school, all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. I am Black business. From the
Social media is evolving. It's more vibrant, more colorful, more energetic, and so are you. It's not just photos anymore. It's video, it's audio, it's subscriptions. And now there's Fanbase, a new monetized social network. Fanbase delivers the complete native app experience with full content monetization for every user. No algorithms that shadow ban your engagement or growth, and no ads. Follow anyone for free and subscribe directly to your favorite creators for $4.99 a month. Plus, show some love by tipping on any post. Also, make a Fanbase page and monetize your content the same way. Finally, connect with your followers by posting the amazing content you already create. And now, get paid for it. It's time to energize and monetize. Because everyone's a fan of something, and everyone has a fan base.
La connexion. La connexion.
In a world obsessed with the cult of celebrity, I challenge you not to aspire to anyone else's greatness, but instead strive to reveal and ignite the greatness within you.
Are you serious?
I totally think that's it.
Hey.
No!
Hey! To me, sexy is a man that knows who he is and what he wants.
Okay.
He's comfortable. You look at him, you see him, he's just comfortable being himself. And you're like,
Baby, be you.
be you, baby.
Just be you. I like it. Introducing the Be You collection, exclusively available at K&G Fashion.
So what we have to do is when we get in the spot, we need to create some spots for us. That's the main thing. We need to be able to be in a position where we're able to create those spots for us. For me, being an entrepreneur, I'm not just going to get a business and then leave you sitting high and dry. If you ask me some questions about entrepreneurship, I'm going to give you as much as I've received. I've seen people who made it, and then when you ask them, it's like, okay, now you have to pay me for the information, the same information I got for free. We probably in totally different cities. There's no way that we're going to bump heads or anything. We're not competing. Bring me up with you. And so I just think that whatever education that I have, then I need to be able to give that to my own as well. So create the spots. You can create the spots when you get there.
Genius is common, and my genius is nutritional strategy. I am Shawnee Smith, the owner and creator of Can Do Spice. Can Do Spice was created because I knew that adding herbal and mineral supplements to my diet did not have to be boring. In fact, because I'm a food enthusiast, I knew I could create something flavorful and explosive that also had the benefit of adding herbal supplements such as sea moss, bladderwrack, burdock root, and black seed, just to name a few. I invite you to take this journey with me where we come together and take control of our nutritional health. It is my way of sharing my genius, the gift of flavor and the healing power of herbs to the world. What is your genius?
Attention all entrepreneurs and companies. Are you looking for reliable and efficient virtual assistants and back office support to help you manage your business tasks? Look no further than Superwoman Business Services. Our team of virtual assistants provides a full range of administrative support services, including operations management, social media marketing, and much more. We also offer website design services to help you create a professional online presence that reflects your unique brand. In addition to administrative support and website design, we offer business development and structuring services to help you grow your business and achieve your goals. We'll work closely with you to identify areas of improvement and develop a customized plan to help you reach your full potential. At Superwoman Business Services, we understand that running a business can be overwhelming and time-consuming. That's why we're here to help you fly high and achieve success. Our virtual assistants are highly skilled, experienced, and dedicated to providing you with the support you need to thrive. Come fly with us and take your business to new heights. Let us help you become the superhero entrepreneur you are meant to be. Contact Superwoman Business Services today to learn more about our back office support services. Come fly with us and take your business to new heights.
The power of the written word is magic. Like fire from the midday sun, like thriving roots from a young tender oak, like ocean waves reaching for the sky, like black voices stretched across a space of regality and purpose, like yesterday's tears and fight becoming today's victory. The power of the written word is magic.
Having a brand that resonates with so many people across the world is truly a phenomenon. But being the face of that brand that empowers people is something that I don't take for granted. It's actually way bigger than me. But it's when I hear those stories of what people had to overcome, that is what our brand is about. Resilience, persevering, and not giving up. Physically, mentally, or spiritually.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Eartha Watts Hicks. I'm the CEO of Eartha Tone Enterprises and Eartha Tone Books. I am a longtime member of the Harlem Writers Guild. I am executive editor at Harlem World Magazine, and I'm also a PR writer and affiliate for blackpr.com. And I am your moderator this evening on the Black Business Network's Black Literary Olympics. Now, the Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. Now, our next speaker is Antoine Thornton. Now, Mr. Antoine Thornton is a young, gifted, and anointed native of Long Island, New York. He is a graduate of SUNY College at Old Westbury, and he graduated and holds a degree in business management. Antoine currently resides in Charlotte, North Carolina, where he attends Crown Church of Charlotte and serves in multiple capacities. Antoine's passion is to encourage and uplift the youth of today. He accomplishes this by building relationships, facilitating seminars, exemplifying positive life practices, and leading others. Antoine is a true man of God that strives to follow the scripture, Deuteronomy 6:5 of the King James Version, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And Antoine operates in the spirit of excellence in every area of his life. Antoine is an avid believer also of Jack Hyles' words. If a task is worthy of our attention, it is worthy of our best. And on that note, we welcome Antoine Thornton. Hello, Antoine. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. And I'm glad to have you with us. Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and the image to your rear? Is that a book cover?
Yes. So I currently have a book out. In 2019, I was sick. It was just by circumstance I happened to become sick. One day, I was laying on my brother's couch, and he came in one day, and then he saw me laying there. Truth be told, I was depressed. And he said, "Hey, you've been laying here for a couple of days. Let me call the ambulance because this is not, common." And what he did was he called the ambulance, went to the hospital. So it went from one thing to the next. So I started out with basically pneumonia. And the pneumonia that I had, they did a lot of research. They did a lot of testing. And then what happened was they did further testing. They did a spinal tap in my back, and then found out that I had pneumonia cancer in my brain. So I had a tumor in my brain. I don't know if you could see that I had a biopsy. They had to go into my brain and take a part of it out and test it, and it determined that I had lymphoma cancer. And I decided to just write a book about, basically Face It to Heal It, which is, you can see it in the background, the poster. I have a couple books here as well. Face It to Heal It. So basically, the book is basically about my testimony of what I've gone through, and sometimes you got to face your fears and the things you go through in order to become healed from it. And the Lord gave me this the title when I was dealing with it, Face It to Heal It, because I was facing a lot of things I was going through. And I learned that in order to get healed from certain things, you got to acknowledge it and then face it in order to be healed from it.
Wow. 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 That's actually one, the experience is itself and how you described it is profound. And the fact that you were able to write around this experience to share with others is remarkable. I would like to know, well, one, I'm a graduate also from SUNY College at Old Westbury with a degree in
Really?
business management.
Oh, wow.
So, my year of graduation was 1991. So I'm a couple of days older than you, but so I would like to know how it was going from studying business to actually writing your experience, putting it into a book form, and then making that book a product that you present to audiences, and putting your book in front of audiences. So if you can share about that experience, I would love to hear it. And then I will also let you take it from here. Because I can see right now, this is all your element. Genius is common, and I will see you on the other side. Thank you.
Okay, so how I began to start writing when I graduated. So I was in high school, and I always wanted to go to college, and I couldn't. I would go to college. I mean, I would start school, and then I would stop. I would start. I would stop. I would start. I start. So it was like a repetitive start and stop, finish. So when I got sick, I said, this is an opportune time to just go back to school and to get my degree. Why not? Being that out of school, I was out of work because I had got laid off, and it put me into a deep depression. And when I got laid off and got into the hospital and everything like that, I would go to the doctors. I had several doctors appointments. So I would go to the doctors. I would see like 4 different doctors per week. And good thing I wasn't working, because it's like, okay, what job is going to allow you to get off from work to go to these doctor's appointments? And because I was out of work, I said, okay, well, I might as well go back to school, being that I'm not working and things like that. And then, so it just became really, really tough at the time because I wasn't working, trying to make bills and things like that. And at that time, so when I stopped working, I went to school to finish my bachelor's degree, because at that time COVID hit and everybody was home basically. So I was doing virtual school. It was online, and I moved to Charlotte, and I was able to still attend school because it was virtual and here in Charlotte. And then when I came here to Charlotte, I finished school, and then we had a virtual graduation. And in that particular time, I was writing. I said, hey, let me put my testimony in a book, because I'm sure a lot of people have experienced a tumor in their brain, and they need to know that there's hope and that there's life after, experiencing cancer and having the tumor in their brain. I went through 9 cycles of chemo. And thank God, throughout the whole entire process, I did not lose my hair. I didn't lose my facial hair. Actually, it grew while I was in the hospital, and I just kept it going. So that's what I was nervous about, taking chemo and everything like that. Chemo would make me very weak. I was very weak at times, and then I was always trying to find my strength. I was always tired, like literally tired. The crazy part about it is I was always tired at the time, but now I don't sleep. Like, I suffer with insomnia, probably because of all the trauma that I've been going through. So there's many nights I don't sleep. I actually have to take trazodone, which is a prescription that's given by my doctor to help me sleep now. But mind you, the whole entire time I was taking chemo, I was always sleeping. Like I was always finding myself sleeping, and it was a very traumatic experience. Like I didn't think I was going to actually bounce back from it. A lot of times, every time I was in the hospital, they would come into the doctor. They would come into the room like at least like every 20 minutes just to take blood. I said they probably have a whole gallon of blood from me. When I was in the hospital, my brother said to the nurse, "Hey, you guys keep sticking him. Maybe you guys should do something." So they put an actual PICC line. So I had a PICC line in my arm when I was in the hospital. That was an easier way for them to draw the blood at that time. I actually also had a feeding tube. So this thing like really did a lot to me as far as, it allowed me to be in a feeding tube because at that time I couldn't eat. And they were nervous about that. And I put all of that in a book. I also have images as far as with, let me see if I can show you guys real quick. Hold on 1 second. So the images that's in here, basically it shows, I can find it somewhere here. Oh, so it shows like where the tumor was. So this one right here, this is 11/19. This shows that white part is where that was considered the tumor, where the cancer was, and then it started slowly fading away. And then this was the last time when they did the last MRI. So I would take like numerous of MRIs, like maybe twice a week. I was at the MRI. I got tired of being under that, going into the MRI. And one day I had went to my specialist because I would see my specialist all the time. Actually, a year ago, he said to me, he said, "Oh, Antoine, I believe that you're not going to be able to come back here no more. Like basically, I don't need to see you no more because I don't believe that this cancer is going to come back to your brain." So that was a good feeling. That was one less doctor I had to see because I would see like numerous of doctors, the numerology, the oncology, the oncologist, and the specialist. So I'm just grateful to be alive, honestly, because it could have been another way. And had my brother not called the ambulance and to take me to the hospital, I probably would have been dead. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful that they were able to catch it and it didn't turn to terminal 4 cancer.
Did you know that approximately 333.34 million businesses exist today, according to a report from 2021? And you may be one of those businesses, or maybe you're not in the business market yet, but you're aspiring to be a business owner. Well, guess what? You're in the right place at the right time. Because let's face it, everything is about timing and opportunity. Hi, my name is Dr. Lotus Richey, and I'm the CEO and founder of the Lotus Richey Coaching and Consulting LLC, along with the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. 15 minutes of success with Dr. Lotus Richey, as well as books to boom your business and bring who you are. And today, I want to bring this amazing message to you about the Black Business Network and the Black Business Olympics. See, the Black Business Network and the Black Business Olympics is designed to help people just like you, that's right, that look like me, to take their business to the next level. Not just in your front yard or your backyard, but globally. The Black Business Network and Black Business Olympics is designed not to just help you survive, but to help you thrive. So join us today as we come together with businesses all around the world to support our students, our children, our young teens, our young entrepreneurs. What we do is we come together to help raise funds for students who
who are aspiring to be business entrepreneurs, who are aspiring and who are thriving in college. We endow them with a wonderful opportunity to gain scholarship of either a laptop or several thousands of dollars. And we invite you to help be a contributor to this amazing opportunity to help someone that looks just like you. So join us today at our website and let us connect with you and help you ignite and take flight in every area of your life on the Black Business Network and the Black Business Olympics. I'll see you on the other side.
Welcome back. Now it's time for me to talk about how I got started as an author. So how I got started as an author was after my testimony and I was released from the hospital, what a greater way to put it down on paper for somebody to read and to be encouraged. So I started writing every day. There was days I did not feel like writing. Let me just be honest. Like I did not feel like writing. It was just a lot, you know. I would write, then I would stop, then I would write, then I would stop, then I would wake up in the middle of the night, write, stop. So if I could encourage someone today, I would tell you to just write. Like, don't worry about the format. Don't worry about how you should start. Don't worry about the middle or the end. Just start writing. Whenever it comes to your mind, that's what I did. Whenever it came to my mind, I just started writing. And then I'm grateful because my publisher at the time helped me and he helped guide me. So he wrote, he read everything I wrote. So I wrote the book and I'm thinking like, hey, I'm done. Like it was literally like maybe like 4 pages long. And he's like, Antoine, this is not finished. This is, he said, I can help you format it into a book. So he would ask me questions and then I would have to respond with the questions in a paragraph format. And then what he did was he formatted it into a book. So he did all of the formatting. I just had to write. He said, just write. All I want you to do is write. So if I can encourage someone today, I would just say, just write, get the book done. There's going to be times when you're just not going to feel like writing. Like I did not feel like writing. I'm going to be honest. There's times. I'm actually in the process of writing actually another book. It's going to be Face It to Heal It Volume 2. And it's going to be a whole brand new structure of the book. This book is going to be about the aftermath of how I thought that, you know, coming back from this sickness was going to jumpstart me back into a career. Whereas, you know, I'll be okay. But unfortunately, that did not happen. So it took a lot of time. I'm still not in my career format. I've still been looking for jobs, and a lot of people, you know, send my resumes off, and they're like, "Oh no, we went with the next candidate," or whatever the case may be. So this volume 2 is going to be about the circumstances I had to go through after being sick and after writing the book and things like that. So it's basically to just give the audience of what to know of what I'm doing now, basically. I wrote the book and then I also decided to also put it in a paraphernalia. So I have like shirts out, everything is on my website. All you have to do is type in www.faceittohealit, which is my website. And on the website, you'll get, you can purchase my book, a copy of my book, and you can also purchase, I have a hat on there, I have a mug on there. So I have a hat that says Face It to Heal It. I have also another hat that says 50, which is the abbreviation for Face It to Heal It. It's FITHI, 50. And that's another form of paraphernalia, just in case someone wants to wear it, you know, hey, you know, you could face your circumstances, you could face your depression, you could face everything, and in order to get healed from it. So again, if I can encourage anybody, get the book done, write it. There's a lot of scriptures in the book that I use and I elaborated on to uplift your spirits and things like that.
Wow, this is remarkable. One, thank you for sharing these your testimony. Period. It's inspiring, and it's inspiring how in your moment or what could have been a setback, you used that time and you allowed it to manifest into something that can lead to something else. So I want to say, one, that's remarkable, and congratulations on that.
Thank
Um,
you.
I also want to say, love how you realize the opportunity of turning your book into merch. And regardless of even you being in a temporary setback, you understood the assignment, as they say. You understood to get that website going, get your merch going, make your book cover friendly, something that reflects who you are, what your story is, and how powerful your story is. So, did you do all of these different aspects yourself, or did you have help? How did you go about the process of marketing your work and presenting it this way?
So what I did was, so I have my publisher. His name is Brian Webb. He's based in Michigan, but he's back and forth to New York. He actually helped me with my website. He did my website for me, and he actually did the whole entire book, the whole layout for the book and the website, and things like that. So he put the cover page on it, and the body, like the different chapters and things like that. And I also dedicated the book to two people, which is my former bishop who transitioned, and my mom who transitioned in 2001.
Wow. Wow. Now, how did you meet your publisher?
Oh, from my friend. Well, it's my friend's fiance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, so okay, so right in your immediate network. So how did you okay, so how was it going through the development part for you, as far as writing this book for the first time, and now you're transitioning from writer to author, which is two different worlds. It's one thing, the writer world is one aspect, and then the author world is another aspect, because you write almost in private, and then you do your author journey for the public to bring attention to your work. So how's that journey been for you?
It's been a eye opener. It's because I'm like, oh wow, I can't believe my testimony is in the book. It's written down, and people are really going to read it and be encouraged. I've gotten a lot of testimonies from it, how my book lifted up their spirits and things like that when they were down and depressed and going through something. One of my brother's friends was in the hospital dealing with a brain tumor. And he wanted to give up, like he just lost hope. And I'm like, I had to talk to him, like, listen, like, you have a family, like he's married and got children. I'm like, you want to stay here for your family, don't be selfish and just give up. And he read my book and he's like, wow, this is powerful. Like, it basically gave him the unction to want to live and to, stay here on earth. So I was grateful by that. So that really like did a lot for me. Like it really, made me smile and made me happy because of something that he went through.
Wow. Now, understanding you're in North Carolina, are
I'm in
you
Charlotte.
in Charlotte? Are you doing the I'm going to call it the book event thing, as in I go to book events, I'm here with my book, I'm at the bookstore, I'm at the library, I'm selling the book, or are you selling it in the spaces where you already are? You visit a church, you bring it with you, you're a guest there, you're speaking on it. How has that leg of your I'm going to call it your and I almost hate to call it marketing, because it's a spiritual work. It's your testimony. So it reflects differently because it's a spiritual work. So what influences make that particular leg of your journey different?
So I'm gonna be honest, I haven't been promoting it lately like I should have. Maybe because it's been a whole year now since the book has been out. So I kind of like took a back seat in it for now, only maybe because I'm also writing another book. So volume 2, I believe I'm going to rebrand it. I'm going to relaunch it. I'm going to do book tours. I'm going to go to different states and do like a launch. With this book, I didn't do a launch. I didn't do a book launch. I just did it online, basically like, oh, my book is out, you guys go get it, and which I should have promoted it more because more people would have been eager to buy it. And this book is not even in Barnes and Nobles. So I have a new publisher, and my new publisher, she's going to help me get the new book into Barnes and Nobles to push it a little bit more, so I can do like book releases and book signings, things like that. So I haven't did a lot of book signings or anything like that. So basically, a lot of my immediate family and people from my church technically bought the book to support me.
Gotcha. Now, I'm gonna say this. When you first release a book, everyone who loves you buys the book, and they buy the book because they know and love you, and it's your book.
That's true.
And so the hard part is getting those strangers to getting their attention, the strangers' attention. But I'm going to tell you just something that I understand. A church is not just one solid entity. Even though you're a member of one church, your churches are interconnected in that those communities support each other. So if you visit another church, that's a good opportunity for you to speak to someone in the church or in the church, their ministry, one of their junior ministries, or about your book, and to tell them about your book, especially now when we're facing book bans. We're facing, and it's not just book bans based off of Black history. No, it's book bans based off of elements of religious culture as well. So if you think about it, Black people were given a redacted Bible back in slavery times. They didn't want us reading at all. They didn't even want us reading the Bible.
That's true.
So with your work, you can reach young people. You can reach communities of young people because there are junior ministries in almost every church, So this is something that I would suggest, even if it's an email to the different youth ministries, I would suggest sending an email to the different youth ministries with the link and the information that would lead them to purchase your book, either directly from you, which is preferable because we don't want these online entities to take their 55% and then leave you to pay the printing costs and then leave you with the last dollar. No, we want readers to buy the book from you, and then you pay the cost of the book. That way you reap most of the money. And if you can get those entities to reach out to you to purchase in bulk, that's the way to go. And then honestly, youth ministries is right your sweet spot. It's a suggestion from me, but
I appreciate it.
My best suggestion is to pray on it and let God do the work and just show up where you need to show up. I have to ask you about this second book, because if your first story is so powerful and inspiring, what is I'm kind of curious now as to what's causing the second book.
So the second book is going to be about, like I said before, the aftermath of how I thought bouncing back from being sick was going to be an easy 1, 2, 3. Whereas it's been a struggle to try to still get on my feet. And it's been like almost 4 years later and I'm still trying to get on my feet. So basically it's just to tell of what I've gone through in that time frame of how it was a struggle to find a good, solid paying job and to find like a career job, from going through what I went through and how it affected me mentally and things like that. So it's basically it's volume 2, basically. So it's going to be a little bit a part of the first book mixed into what's going on now.
Gotcha. Now, I'm going to ask a question that might seem a little weird.
No.
Even if we face a a serious health challenge or a serious battle, sometimes we emerge from that with a superpower.
Right.
Can you identify a superpower that you emerged from your experience with, and how that has caused you to access different opportunities or to view things in different ways that you may not have acknowledged or recognized prior to your whole setback?
So as far as superpowers, you mean like as far as like with God and things like that?
No, I'm talking about insofar as sometimes a health setback can make us differently able because we have to adjust differently. We have to use a different set of skills, and we have to identify who we are once a certain aspect of what we do is put on ice for a minute.
Right. Yeah. So I honestly, I felt like my whole identity was changed. You know, it took me a while to have the confidence back again, because I was always confident, and I had like low self. Nobody would believe it, but I actually suffered with low self-esteem going through this chemotherapy and things like that. And especially when they had to go into my head and do a biopsy, and having this little mark on my head. You know, it's like a reminder, like, oh, okay, you had surgery there. So my low self-esteem was shot, you know, to the core. So it took a minute to kind of like bounce back, to get my identity back again, to be confident in who I am. And it took a while. It took a lot of prayer, to be honest, a lot of prayer and fasting. And because I was insecure too, you know, insecure with a lot. A lot of times I thought my memory was going, because there were some things I couldn't remember at times. I remember going to take a test, and I'm not the best test taker at all. I used to be a good test taker, but I think after this situation, it kind of like shot my memory a little bit. And so when I go take a test now, I'm like, oh, like I'll study, and then the next 10 minutes I forgot what I studied. So it took a lot to kind of like have that confidence again to say, okay, you can do it. So every day I kind of like push myself and read scriptures and things like that to remember that I am the God's mouthpiece and things like that, and I'm going to come out on top and things like that. So.
Mm-hmm.
Your prayer and church helped me a lot, to be honest.
Amen. To God be the glory. Let me say that.
Yes.
But also, I have to ask, how many people who have been through what you've been through have written a book that you know?
No one, to be honest.
Then you have no reason to have a low self-esteem. You are a walking miracle.
Yes.
And we get to read about it when we read Face It to Heal It. Can you please remind us how to connect with you on social media, if you're on social media?
Yes, I'm on social media. So my Facebook page is my name, Antoine Thornton. Mm-hmm. My Instagram page is Sir Prince _ Prince _ AT. But I also have a Instagram, which is also Face It to Heal It. So my Instagram page is called Face It to Heal It. You'll see it. It's spelled 50 FITHI. That's the abbreviation of Face It to Heal It. So you'll find that on Instagram. So you can find me on Instagram as well with that. And my website, which is www.faceittohealit.com.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you to give me that Instagram again, like real slow. Like I write real slow.
So you can put in Face It to Heal It. It should come up on Instagram.
Okay, but you said something about Prince, something.
Yeah, that's my personal page, which is Sir _ Prince _ AT. Sir _ Prince _ AT. That's my personal page. You found me?
Yes, Sir _ Prince _ and then your initials AT.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, got it. And your website is
www.faceittohealit.com.
And that's completely spelled out, not the acronym.
Yes, ma'am.
Great, great, great. Okay, now there was another question that I have to ask. How do you
Sure.
feel about these book bans?
Book bans?
Yeah, well, what they're doing now is trying to, number one, eradicate Black history, calling Black history and the Black history narrative critical race theory, and the inclusion of Black history in certain, I'm going to call it certain regions, certain areas, um, has led the government in that area to say, well, Black history is critical race theory, so we want to pull it out of the school curriculum, right? Which means that young people in those areas, in those jurisdictions, are not getting access to a full, broad scope, inclusive of the contributions of African Americans and other races as well. So they want to monopolize the history, which would basically set, I'm going to say, us as in our people back to a time when I grew up, when I learned about the Emancipation Proclamation, and then I learned
Right.
about Martin Luther King, I Got a Dream speech. So they want to turn things back, turn the clock back to a time when young people didn't get to have access to read books about people that look like them, or have access to books written by people who look like them, or to see opportunities for themselves because there are people who look like them who are already doing those things. So how do you feel about one,
Right.
the Black history being taken out, and how do you feel about the book bans, them saying these books are not allowed to be read in school because it speaks on these things that make us uncomfortable? And by us, I mean people, not people who look like us, people
Right.
who don't want people who look like us to feel comfortable in our own skin and empowered.
I feel like that's a disgrace. They need to revisit that and not take us out, because we are history. We are Black history. It's us, and our children and the next generation need to read about us and to see that we've made a lot of things. A lot of us. Believe it or not, it's a lot of people our color that invented a lot of things that we use today, believe it or not. And they need to know about that. They need to read about that, because some people don't know that. And I think it would give them an eye opener of that we are great and we can do great things. So I don't think they should remove it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right, and I think it's a disgrace. I mean, I'm going to say it. Just growing up,
Yeah.
when I grew up, having gone to really, really good schools that taught me, all about the American Revolution. I learned about the
Mhm.
history of New York. I learned about all the Indian tribes that were in New York when New York was settled, and it seemed like, okay, there were only Native Americans and white settlers who
Right.
came to New York, and nobody in New York was brown. So, I was introduced to a whole wealth of culture and history, Black history, by happenstance. And it
Right.
began with memberships in Black student unions. At SUNY College of the Westbury, I was part of the Black Student Union.
Mind you, the president was Black too, to be honest. The president who died, he was a Black man.
Oh, Calvin Butts. But you know what?
Yes.
When I was in SUNY College at Westbury, the president was a Black woman, Eudora
Oh.
Pettigrew.
Oh,
So
wow.
back in the 80s, the president of SUNY College at Westbury was Black. So, shout out to SUNY College at Westbury, because that was one of the institutions that gave Black people access to an education that was affordable. So we have to shout them out for that as well. And honestly,
Absolutely.
SUNY College at Westbury was the institution that taught me that I was not a terrible writer.
Oh, wow.
I studied English under one very specific professor, and his name escapes me now. And he gave me the process of how to write in like a formula form. So once he
Okay.
gave me a simple formula, it just all seemed to fall in place. And that was like a wake-up call for me.
Yes, I could imagine. And the new president now is Black. It's a female.
Oh, do you know her name?
I don't know her name. It's slipping my mind.
I'm gonna look it up, 'cause I didn't know that until you just said it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you know what, Anton, thank you so very much. Thank you for representing children of God, because you are a child of God. Thank you for sharing your testimony, your journey. Thank you for repping SUNY College at Old Westbury, our alma mater. You did us proud. Thank you so much. Genius is common, and I'll see you on the other side.
All right. Thank you also for having me on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're a joy to have. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. Whew. Well, thank you. Well, first, let me say this. Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Thank you so much for what you do and what you're doing through the Black Business Expo to give access for Black readers, Black authors, to one, communicate, to see what we do, to show what we do, to share what we do, and to share why we're passionate about what we do, and to answer questions about our process, why it's important, and how we feel, about these book bans. The book bans is disturbing. So thank you for allowing us to voice our concerns and giving us access to your platform to tell our stories. Now, the Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students, so you may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund, or to use the Cash App QR code, which is in the corner of the screen there. Use the Cash App QR code to make a donation. And if you're having trouble using that QR code, simply enter into the Cash App the Cash App $BBXUSA. So if you enter into the Cash App search window, $BBXUSA, you can make a donation that way as well. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts, so we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. So even if it's $5, $10, $11, if you want to forego that expensive coffee and muffin in the morning and pack your own lunch, whatever, it helps. Or if you want to do an automated $11 a month every week, that is wonderful. $11 a month every week, we will thank you. And thank you so much. What we want to also do is to thank our Black Business Expo USA sponsors for February 2024. And that is NC100, Moody Capital Partners, Suede Soul, Lotus Rocher's Coaching and Training, Carolina, Virginia Minority Suppliers Development Council, Step Management, BHS and Associates, Margie McLean Foundation Incorporated, Genius is Common, Earth Essentials, Minlane Shani Global, Executive Women's Success Institute, The Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Services, Creative Force Studios, Lee Entertainment, Artistic App Design, Black Business Expo USA. Genius is common, and I will see you on the other side.
Hello, I am Dr. Eric Kelly III, the visionary strategist and founder of the Black Business Olympics. I invite you to showcase your Black-owned businesses on the Black Business Network global stage. The Black Business Olympics is a global Black Business Network platform that propels Black-owned businesses into the international spotlight. By showcasing your business on the Black Business Olympics platform, you can reach a worldwide audience of potential customers, partners, and investors. You can also establish yourself as a thought leader, an expert in your field, attract lucrative partnerships, and more speaking engagements. In addition, the Black Business Olympics platform provides a valuable opportunity to connect and collaborate with like-minded entrepreneurs and business professionals from around the world. This can lead to new business opportunities, ideas, and relationships. Finally, by sharing your story and expertise on the Black Business Olympics platform, you can inspire and empower others. This is a powerful way to make a positive impact on the world and leave a lasting legacy. If you are a Black-owned business owner, I encourage you to seize the opportunity to showcase your business on the Black Business Olympics platform. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make an indelible mark on the world. Be one of the 1,000 visionary entrepreneurs who are changing students' lives, shaping industries, and leaving an unforgettable legacy for their families. Unleash your voice on our global stage and watch your business thrive. Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Yes, the entire world. Just give me a call today at 919-308-9090.
You are in the right place at the right time. The Black Business Network opens again for its Black Business Olympics, a 24/7 broadcast on business, strategies, global branding, social media marketing, finance, advertisement, and much, much more. Featuring the top, most powerful entrepreneurs and speakers and thought leaders from all around the world as they gather together for this phenomenal event. Join the Black Business Network streaming live into the metaverse, STEM City, USA, Black Multiverse, Pod TV, Roku, Hulu, iHeartRadio, Apple TV, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Google Podcasts, Facebook, LinkedIn, IBM TV, Spotify, and Twitch. Tune in today and be a part of this amazing movement. The Black Business Olympics welcomes you. Prepare for what's coming and dominate in economic winter. Stand strong and thrive by showcasing your great products and services globally through the Black Business Network and Black Business Olympics. The Black Business Network has showcased over 2,000 companies with over $7 billion in sales each year. Over 10 million attendees have viewed the rebroadcast each month. Through the Black Business Olympics, unique styles of business training and mentoring are turning students into business owners and entrepreneurial warriors who will dominate in any economy. Gain the ultimate advantage of the Black Business Olympics, 7 days of unbelievable topics and speakers speaking around the globe. Donate your time and experience to provide expertise and scholarships to students worldwide and change the world. Now, more than ever, new insights, tools, strategies, and capabilities are needed. This is your chance for a major presentation to the world. Fill out the form and join the more than 2,000 speakers who have presented to over 200 countries. Join the Black Business Network streaming live into the metaverse, STEM City, Black Multiverse Enterprises, Hulu, Amazon, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Apple, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pod TV, IBM TV, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Sign up today. Spaces are limited, and we will see you there.
What if you could build your own city? A place where every child can find nurturing people to help them achieve their full potential. A place where every adult can access job training support, where health education is abundant, where social justice ruled the land. A place without limitations. Welcome. You have arrived at STEM City, USA. It is what every city should be. A safe and trusted community where you find people and resources to help you become everything you are and beyond. STEM City is unlike anything you have ever experienced. It is a digital twin of the world around you, only better. STEM City is about energy and soul renewal. It is more than a digital world. You can almost feel the power of live cultural events, music, and theater. STEM City promises a better future for children with caring mentors and hands-on activities with dedicated tutors to support our youth. STEM City is your passport to a healthy lifestyle with weekly events addressing our community's many issues. STEM City is your financial well-being with helpful information on wealth management, career advancement, job training, and so much more. STEM City is the community you deserve. It is the city where your dreams can come true. STEM City USA, a place in the sky that is accessible to all who reach for the stars.
Did you know women represent just 3% of Fortune 500 CEOs and less than 15% of corporate executives at top companies worldwide? Have you wondered what the secrets are to getting into the top ranks, whether in the private or public sector? Do you want to figure out how to stop being held back in your career or passed over for promotion? Then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. I have decades of experience in the military, the federal government, and corporate America, and my mission is to help women succeed and tap into their full potential. I want to reach 1 million plus women around the world to become the leaders they are meant to be. So if you want to move into a management or executive level position, or maybe you are a female veteran transitioning out of the military into business entrepreneurship, then reach out to the Executive Women's Success Institute at 301-693-3284. Let us get you on the fast track to success. Hello, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. And my genius is helping women accelerate the path to success. You know, I was blessed to have strong women in my life who encouraged, motivated, and pushed me to do my best and to never even think about giving up on my dreams. So I say to women, we must show up to rise up. We have talents and potential, but who will see them if we don't speak up and get noticed? I know that women are a tremendous resource on this planet, and there is nothing more fulfilling than helping a woman tap into her full potential. I do this because I want to be a part of helping as many women as I can to show up, to rise up. I do this because genius is common.
Over the past few years, we've seen the growth of existing and new initiatives focused on financial inclusion, building global networks, and reducing the wealth gap in response to the idea there's not enough seats at the table. Whether their outcomes are to increase the representation of Black executives on corporate boards, ensure an inclusive global economy, or to create new U.S. African commercial pathways, the strategies are often carried out by separate programs. The question is, should they be? With the continent of Africa being home to more than half of the world's fastest growing economies, the youngest workforce, over 400 companies generating more than $1 billion annually, 700 generating more than $500 million annually that are poised for growth, and being the destination of nearly $5 billion in venture capital in 2021. Diversifying U.S. and Africa commercial engagement by building bridges between African businesses and their U.S. diaspora should begin being seen as mutually beneficial. From helping to reduce Africa's enormous capital gap to catalyzing two-way trade opportunities, the COVID-19 global pandemic hopefully has taught us that global challenges and opportunities are more interconnected than we thought. During the pandemic, African companies like Unicorn Flutterwave, insurance provider Reliance Health, ride-hailing app Yasir, and 54Gene, the continent's first bank of DNA on people of African descent, prove that when African companies have access to networks, capital, and information, they grow big, grow fast, and create solutions that are valuable to the world. This is why Be Direct was created. We are the first U.S.-based but African-centric board preparedness and board search company designed to connect U.S. Black talent and corporations to African businesses. Unique and fundamental to Be Direct's success is our process of helping board candidates adapt their experience and networks to an African context before they're connected to high-growth companies that are looking to locally and globally scale. From our focus groups with African business execs and government leaders, we don't ignore the sentiment that business is easy, but people are hard. Having a pool of board candidates with hard-to-access networks and extensive experience across the business life cycle, including successfully raising capital, is table stakes for an initiative like this. So yes, we have that. But corporate or entrepreneurial success in the U.S. does not guarantee success in Africa. Developed alongside industry partners on the continent, our training program, Be Direct Prep, is designed to transpose their experience to create cultural comfort, understanding, and a commitment to helping businesses in Africa scale. Our board governance sessions are African continental and country specific, integrated with cultural awareness and dexterity training, masterclasses led by African industry execs, and mentoring and coaching from African continental-based facilitators. But even more unique to Be Direct Prep, we cap off our training program with an immersion trip to help candidates that have not been to Africa before see and feel Africa's complexity and opportunity from African soil. We all know traditional network-based board placement has historically left a lot of us out of ever really being in the paid board pipeline. Our strategy supports the work of many great organizations that are successfully filling seats at U.S. board tables by creating more tables for those that are still left on the sideline. It's time to start seeing the role and value of U.S. Black talent and businesses on the continent of Africa differently. Old perceptions and habits limit economic inclusion. Let's transition Black talent and the African businesses they will support from the periphery of the global economy to its core. Living in a global lockdown, we all know now how fast local and global economies can change, and see the value of having businesses that hire, strengthen local value chains, and even grow globally. Status quo in any form holds back progress. We must democratize U.S.-Africa commercial engagement by socially and economically connecting cultures that have long been disconnected. It's time for Africa's U.S. diaspora to redefine their global value by helping African businesses scale continentally and globally.
The power of the written word is magic. Like fire from the midday sun, like thriving roots from a young tender oak, like ocean waves reaching for the sky, like Black voices stretched across a space of regality and purpose, like yesterday's tears and fight becoming today's victory. The power of the written word is magic.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
And good evening, everyone, business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Claudette Forbin, and I will be your business moderator for this evening on the Black Business Network. Now, the Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. Now, we have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network, global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. This week, we are hosting the literary edition of the Black Business Olympics, showcasing writers, authors, speakers, publishers, agents, and literary enthusiasts. Now, our keynote speaker for this evening is none other than Eartha Watts Hicks. Now, she is the founder of Earthatone Publishing and Earthatone Books. Now, she's a former director of publications for Cultivating Our Sisterhood International Association, COSIA. And I think I just ruined that. Hopefully she'll correct me. She is an NYFA, New York Foundation for the Arts Artists, a member of the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers, ASCAP, and the legendary Harlem Writers Guild. It is my honor to have her joining us this evening. Now, as she comes on, we're going to be mentioning that, Eartha's here. Hi, Eartha. I'm so glad you made it. And Eartha, I hope you and I can have a little bit of time to discuss book banning. Yes, I'm all for it.
So, Eartha, please introduce yourselves again, because I know you can say a whole lot more about you than I can, but tell us a little about yourself, and I would love to know how you came into being in your space.
Well, I'm Eartha Watts Hicks, and for a number of years, I was a stay-at-home mom of two. And in that capacity, I started before I even started taking writing workshops, I had a dream of writing a novel. And it was to be a novel with a full song music soundtrack. So years ago, right after college, I had this wonderful idea of writing this novel with a music soundtrack, but I was neither a novelist, not even a writer, didn't study or major in English, didn't write music or sing. I just thought it was a brilliant idea, had no clue how I was going to pull it off. And for a number of years, I was a stay-at-home mom trying to write without having studied English literature, or having an MFA, or having a degree in English. So my actual degree is in business administration with a concentration in accounting. And then shortly after, I became a stay-at-home mom. In that space, I started writing. First, I started writing songs because I was an aspiring songwriter. And I wrote some brilliant songs. At least I thought they were brilliant. But what I didn't understand about music and the music industry was that getting a song on the radio wasn't as simple as writing a wonderful song. You had to have a network and an engine to take that song from your idea to some kind of recording to present to an artist, to be accepted by that artist's management and production team, to be developed into a sound recording for sale for you to get paid as a songwriter.
Yes, it is not as simple. I just sang this great song. You want to produce it? No, baby cakes. It does not work that way.
No, and I spent a lot of years writing wonderful songs that were wonderful song ideas. Some songs I had fully fleshed out, and just running around saying, I wrote this really wonderful song. Do you sing? Can you sing it? Will you sing it? Oh, you're a producer. Do you have some tracks? Can you use my song? No, it's not even a matter of, do you have some tracks? Can you use my song? It was, are you willing to pay studio time? Are you willing to pay a vocalist to reference your songs? Are you willing to pitch that to an artist? Do you have a management team to pitch it to? So once I kind of fully understood the business of the of songwriting, as opposed to just creating the art, there's a business engine to it. Once I understood that, I paid and had one of my songs recorded, and accidentally erased my recording because it was on my one tape that was in my one stereo system, and I accidentally recorded over it. When that happened, it took the steam out of my engine. So I had gotten, there was a group, a band by the name of Coffee, who had performed my song up and down the East Coast on the festival circuit. And their performances of my work in a live setting had garnered me membership into ASCAP, which is the Association of Composers, Authors, Composers. I forgot what ASCAP stands for, but it's Authors, Composers, and Publishers, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot to mention what the S was because I don't forgot now. But I had membership into ASCAP, but by the time I got membership into ASCAP, I was so tired of the drudgery of trying to get that song on the radio, trying to get into the right network to get the music that I was writing place, that I gave up. I gave up songwriting. Well, maybe not giving up songwriting because I still write songs, but I gave up trying to be a career songwriter. And I looked at the scope of my music soundtrack and I said, these look like a chapter to me. And I ordered the titles of my songs and the concepts of my songs. And I used that as an outline for a novel. And that's how Love Changes came to life.
Wow. Can I take us a little bit off track? Because, we're talking not only to our generation. I mean, you're not my generation because you're a baby, like being a boomer or a boomer X, and you being a millennial or like a zillennial, what is it? Not zillennial, the XNL, whatever that is. They like that transition. But I'm going on YouTube, right? And they're all, first of all, the level of talent these days that are coming across like this kind of media of YouTube. I know they're coming out of TikTok and Instagram, but I'm on YouTube. Okay. And you have them putting out their soundtracks, and they're like, Iniko, I think, is that her name? Oh, Iniko. She did like Jerusalem. Amazing talent, but she's not going the route of getting producers. She's basically having someone filming her, doing her makeup, and she's singing it and building an audience. You have this guy named Connor who's doing the same thing. They're like, oh, it's live streaming now on Spotify. You have even artists who are doing spoken word. How has that changed? Like, you're aware of all that. That's different than what we came through. Talk to us, because there's the younger generation, and they're listening to you going, well, you had to do all that? I just got on Instagram.
Don't forget it. Forget about it. I mean, it was like you had to bang on a steel door in order to get an opportunity, and you had to bang loud, bang hard, and keep on banging. And if you kept banging in the same spot, you was never getting in. So it was really, really, in order to have access, right, you had to know someone with access, which is why a lot of these songwriters nowadays had to sell off their publishing in order to gain access. They wrote the whole song, but had to sell pieces of the song just to get an opportunity. That, nothing was as transparent and as simple as having talent, as having a gift. If you Kerry Hilson, Missy Elliott, all famous songwriters who were brilliantly talented, they were creating for years before they were famous. They were in development for years before they were famous. It's not as simple as having a gift and automatically having an audience because the internet is there. There was no internet in the 90s.
Yeah.
There was no internet in the 80s. And in the 2000s, the internet was just starting to open up.
Yeah. We had MTV. So how is it changing, this internet that you don't even go through them anymore? You just go straight online and hit thousands of followers.
Right. I mean, and in a way that it's done a disservice to the book industry, because you don't have to be a writer to be an author. If you create a story, it doesn't have to be well developed to be a book. You could just write it in your kind of way, stream of content, stream of consciousness, in voice recorder, text to speech, a big blob of words. Ooh, big blob of words. I got 100,000 big blob of words. It's not even edited. You could slap that in the book, put a cover on it, make the cover nice and salacious, and call it a book. But what happens is, when people do that, when they release and sell books that are not well developed, that are not edited, that are not designed, right? When they create work that is not the quality of books that are already in mainstream bookstores like Barnes and Nobles, book chains, libraries. If your book does not look like what's in a library or in a Barnes and Noble, so to speak, then what you've done, even if it has the most beautiful cover in the world, is hindered the progress of other independently published authors who are creating the work and doing the due diligence to make sure that their work is of quality and not subpar.
I know what you're saying. By the way, I actually was an English major with a literary background, and I had dreams of writing a book. Okay, well, I just throw that out there. And I love to read. People like, oh, reading is so easy. You just got to get your iPad. I said, no, I need to hold it in my hand. I need to flip the pages. I need to go like this. Oh my God, did you read that? And then it becomes your best friend.
Wow, I'm going to say this much. My book, novel here, Love Changes. This right here is my first book, baby, Love Changes, right? And I published it in larger print edition. And the best version of the book is really the Is There Enough of Mia to Go Around version, which is the complete revised edition that has all 56 chapters and these song lyrics that I quote, use with permission. And that book took me 5 years to a first draft, and maybe about another 4 years to do my rewrites. And then it also took me 4 years, more like 4 to 5 years, to track down 18 music publishers to get permission to use their song lyrics. One thing about my experience of being an aspiring songwriter was that when I wanted to quote song lyrics, I was not going to not reach out to those songwriters and music publishers to formally ask permission. And I did that. I did it the hard way. I did it the long way. And I did it myself, even when I understood that that was one of the reasons why some of the publishers didn't want to pick me up, because they didn't want me to quote the song lyrics because there's a price tag on it. I paid licensing fees myself. And I've got I got on the phone with some of my heroes to have that conversation as to why I wanted to quote their song lyrics. You know, that was that part of the experience was beautiful. I'll just say it that way. It was a blessing and it was a joy to be able to reach out to, you know, one of my favorite singing groups, the lead singer, and ask her permission to use her words, and to have her send a video to me, you know, saying, "Hey, Eartha, thank you for using my words." You know, so that part of the experience was priceless and well worth the time and energy. But yeah, you know, writing it's really a labor of love.
Yes.
And beyond being a labor of love, once you get past writing is a labor of love, right? Independent publishing is a whole nother animal.
Yes. It's the, you know, one of in the lifespan of Claudette, I used to be an attorney, and I loved the practice of law. I love the mental gymnastics. I love the delving into the detail. But I didn't understand the business of being an attorney. There's two worlds. Not for in a firm. I had my own practice. There's two worlds. And so many people, and I want us to touch on that a little bit. You know, we've talked about it, and I just kind of want to delve into that. There's the thing, and then there's the business of the thing.
Yep.
And you could be excellent, amazing at the thing, but this is what's going to make you money, and you suck at that.
Right.
Talk about that if you can.
I gotta mention one friend right now, and that is Serfina Stewart. I was riding the subway one day, and I ran into a friend of mine that I went to high school with, named Serfina Stewart, and she was the one that told me my book was in a library. I had no clue.
No,
I'm like, yeah, this is my book. Read my book. She's like, I already read your book. I'm like, how you already read my book? She said, it's in the library. I was like, it's in the library. And then I had to go to the library and look it up. And I was like, it is in the library. So, and I say that to fast forward. I was doing an event at the Bronx Museum, and it was.
I thought you a Bronx girl.
Yeah.
Where?
Boogie Down Bronx, really originally from Millbrook Projects. Then I moved to Mitchell Houses, and then I was on the Grand Concourse. Before the Grand Concourse, I was on Kingsbridge, 193rd Street, right from the 4 train, right around the corner. And then from there, it was on the Grand Concourse. You know, so I was all over the Bronx tap dancing, and my family is from the Bronx. So I went to St. Jerome's, which was on Alexander Avenue, right across the street from Mitchell Houses. And I went to Spelman. So I'm a Bronx girl.
Born and raised Bronx girl. I went to Evander.
You went to Evander? Oh, you might know my cousin. We're going to have a sidebar conversation.
We're going to have a sidebar on this one. Are you still in New York City?
Yes.
Girl, we're going to have to meet for coffee now. Hello, people. We're sorry. We didn't mean to digress. But we're gonna have a discussion, you know, literary person to literary person over some coffee in the Bronx. Okay, so go ahead about your book.
Yes. So Safina, when I told her I was doing the event at the the Bronx Museum. She said, I'll come and I'll help you. Now, meanwhile, I'm used to dragging, and I joke. I tell this one joke, and it's a terrible joke, and it's not even funny. I say, never in my author fantasy was there that 100-pound suitcase full of books. You know, I envision me being an author, me being in front of a podium, telling my story.
You know, throwing your fur across the shoulder.
Okay.
No.
Signing, endorsing my name on that $1 million check. I saw all that part, but I never saw myself dragging that 100-pound suitcase full of books from event to event. And if I can't jump on the subway with this 100-pound suitcase, me taking a cab from wherever to home and from home to wherever and counting those beans to make sure I'm earning a profit at the end of that event. I never anticipated that part of the journey. So when
the business end. The business end.
The business end, because at the end of the day, it's bean counting. Just like Brian W. Smith said, it's bean counting. If you're not paying attention to the numbers, you're not in business. And yeah, he said it. I know I say it, and I say it all the time. And I say at the end of the day, it's bean counting. But I love the way he said it because he hit the nail on the head too. He hit a different nail in a different way, but it was the same message. It's business, right? So Serfina said, well, I'll help you. I'll come and I'll help you. And I didn't even know. I was so used to doing it all by myself, as in going to the event, showing up early, bringing my tablecloth, laying that tablecloth down, sitting my books on the easel, trying to make the books look all presentable, then dressing the part, because now I have to be a presentation myself. I have to show up in the fashion of an author so that readers can vibe with me and feel comfortable enough to approach me and even want to approach me, you know. And then while I'm holding these conversations, I'm also doing transactions, selling the book, paying attention to the inventory that's still on the table, trying to keep the reporter that wants to ask me a question so that could be on Channel 12 News. And all it is, I was used to doing by myself while keeping track of my numbers, my sales, my books, handing out flyers to people who are walking by. It was like being a mom with a bunch of small kids again, you know? It was like that octopus thing, you know? So when Serfina was like, I'll help you, you know, when someone wanted to interview me, she would tap me on the shoulder and I would say, hello. And while I'm speaking to the reporter, Serfina is selling my book, right? And while I'm speaking to someone about the book, Serfina is giving someone else the mailing list to sign so that we could keep in touch. So just having Serfina tag team off of just half the responsibilities of what it's like to do a vending event was such a relief.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to thank Serfina and the people who have served as Serfina ever since then in some capacity. My sister, she's volunteered a day with me. My daughter's volunteered a day with me. My son's volunteered a day with me. So for those of us who, I would say those of us, even though I am an author, but those of us who are not authors, who has an author family member or even a family member who vends at these events, you could volunteer for one day to help them do a vending event. You'd be surprised how much stress that just
takes away.
Yes.
That's the business end of it. And you're right. It's like if you can't count the numbers, if you can't count the beans, I mean, everybody's journey is different. Like, you know, when you're in business that involves a thing, that's one thing. And then there's a business when you're in a service, that's a different thing because there's a whole different bean count, like, you know, that you got to go through. But it's like at the end of the day, you have to both understand the business end and you have to understand your world of being an artist, being creative, because you are creative.
Right, because this is art and it's also retail, right? And then in addition to it's art, it's retail, it's inventory, it's distribution, and then it's also sales and outreach to the broader network. So there's so many layers to this onion that if you get stuck just on doing vending events and don't explore the libraries, or get stuck on the libraries and don't explore how to get into the schools, it's like you're cutting off, I'm going to call it a vein, because I can't think of another word. You're cutting off another vein or stream of income.
Right. I when I talk, especially, being a business person, I go, each one of us has I was a big Robin Hood fan. Each one of us has this quiver of arrows on our back, and each arrow does a different thing. But you wouldn't just have one arrow; you'd have a bunch, or make it easy, more contemporary, a golfer. You don't play the whole game with a woody. That's the only thing I know. You have your iron. I don't know anything else. I don't play golf, but you have to know you have different clubs that do different things. And if you don't have that club or know how to use it, you're handicapping your game.
Right. And one of the things about me and how I do things is that, and I got to go back. Forgive me for going back, but I got to go back. When I was in elementary school at St. Jerome School at 217 Alexander Avenue, Bronx, New York, 10454, right? When I was a student at St. Jerome's, I was an A student, straight A. So I had an A in art, I had an A in math, I had an A in history, I had an A in English, I had an A in language arts, I had an A in reading, and I had an A in gym, right? I had an F in conduct, but I worked on that.
You know. Okay.
little too much information, but it's true, right? So while I had all these different A's, I was good in art, I was good in math, I was good in English, I was good in reading, right? I kind of now with the in the writing realm, I'm on social media, right? So social media is one of those quivers, right? I'm on I'm a PR writer and affiliate for blackpr.com, and I specialize in press releases and digital press kits. Boom. Press release, right? So there is my press release, press kit, social media. That's another quiver, right? Then in addition to that, I love the design. So I love cover design, and I love design in addition to my covers, my marketing material. Then I also love to design the handouts that I hand to people, right? All of these are different quivers and the arrows, right?
Yeah.
And then two, which is the most basic of basics, I love books. So not only do I love my book, I love other people's books, so I'm in a space where I'm always surrounded by authors that fascinate me, because I will buy their book and I will read it. I'll buy their book, read it, and I will leave a review. And what I try to do is, if it's a book that I don't enjoy, I'll tap that person very subtly on the shoulder and let them know, hey, I don't like this, that, and the other, because this is wrong, that is wrong. I can leave a less than perfect review, or if you fix those things, I'll circle back and leave a 5. Which would you rather me do? And I'm open to the conversation, but I don't like to leave bad reviews for authors, because I don't want to hinder anyone's
progress.
Understand all the learning curve, and I might be the only person I know that my first copy, which was at the Espresso machine in Brooklyn, from the Grand Army Plaza, they had the Espresso program. They pressed my first copy. And when they pressed my first copy, there was a gentleman there who ran the Espresso program named Anderson, who looked at it and said, wow, this is the most fabulous first edition that I've ever seen come off this press. Can we use this as a model for all self-publishers? I'm the only person I know who's had that experience,
Wow.
But it's a learning curve. And,
Mm.
and me even understanding that it was a learning curve when I got my first press copy, hot off the presses, and Anderson wanted to use it as a model for all self-publishers, I said, let me make sure there's no typos in it. I wouldn't release it because I was afraid of my 5 typos, and I'm still kicking myself about that. I just gave it to him. But yeah, it's a learning curve. And
Yeah.
because it's a learning curve, and because I know I've been in this industry, over, if not, I was published since 2013 and in development probably 12 years before that. Because I understand how tough it is to stay the course and to stay inspired, I try to encourage rather than criticize. I think if I'm going to criticize, I think that criticism should come before it's a book. I'll let you know what's wrong with it before you release it as a book. That way you have time to correct.
Correct. And also, criticism when offered appropriately, because we want people to tell me where I have the opportunity to grow. And if it's offered in the right context, it will always feed you.
Right.
But people don't understand the difference between critique and, lambasting somebody.
Right.
When all you want to do is just read somebody and tell somebody about themselves. Well, y'all have to learn how to take some criticism. That's not criticism.
That's not.
You're seeking to hurt that person. But when you're able to say, I really like this part and this part, but what left me confused was how this part tied to this part. Did I miss something? And then they're like, ooh, there's a whole paragraph missing right there.
And I gotta say this. And even learning to understand and accept my own reviews, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had to go in and look at Alice Walker's reviews and look at her lowball rating reviews. And I was like, if they go on lowball the greatest Black writer I done ever seen, besides Toni Morrison, if they're going to lowball review Alice Walker, then you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah, not everybody's going to like you. That's okay.
Exactly.
But what you want is that, you want their respect. Not everybody's going to like you, but that's okay.
Right.
But you can be respectful in your dislike, or you're not to my flavor. It says like a point. My church is primarily Filipino, and every so often they'll have a dish that I'm like, I'm too American to eat that. Right. And I don't say that, oh my gosh, it's a disgusting. I'm like, I'm too American to eat that, because it's and my family's West Indian. So there's things that I eat that other people like, but there's everybody has a little bit of a difference. Mm-hmm. And it's okay to say, I'm too American to eat that, meaning that it's not to my taste.
Right.
And it's okay.
Right. And I say it slightly differently. I say I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
That's right. That's another way of saying it. Not my cup of tea, dear. Not my. I thought it was good, but it was just not my cup of tea.
Right.
Yeah.
But I understand, like, taking it off of myself. I understand I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I understand that every artist is passionate about their work.
Mm-hmm.
Their work is like the shadow of their soul. It reflects who they are on the inside in their most private spaces.
Yes.
So to come along and say, oh, well, you needed to use this different, you needed to do that different. I don't understand where these characters come and they so stupid, to come along and say that is to call somebody's baby ugly.
Yeah, you just call my baby ugly. Exactly. Or it's one thing, but at the same time, or put that same thing. It's like, I really loved your book because it just made me think so much. I mean, and it shocked me at parts. It took me out of my comfort zone, and there were times when I just didn't get it. But that's a different conversation. And it's saying that caused you to have a reaction. You're like, what was about it? I was like, because I don't usually like this person, but I found by the time I finished reading the book, I really understood where you were coming from.
Right.
And that was different. Though I've had some authors that have been favorite authors that I was reading, I'm like, this is a piece of dreck. And I threw the book across the room and I would get mad because they were my favorite author. But even my favorite authors can put out what I call dreck. It's like, it's horrible. But, it just wasn't to my taste that day, like you were having an off cooking day. So it is what it is. So I just like, but I thank you for allowing, us to talk like this. I know you're giving it because like, how many books do you have? By the way, how many books do you have? And I have to go look you up now. And so I can get one of your books, especially the first one.
Okay, so let me let you in on a little bit, right? Love Changes, which is my novel, took me a number of years to write and publish. And I was writing this at a time when 500-page novels were a thing, right? So when I published it in 2013, 500-page novels were no longer a thing. So I had to repackage it in several different ways to allow it to sell within the market. So I serialized it into 3 parts. And also did a larger print edition. So I have Love Changes larger print edition. I have Love Changes Part 1, which is the first 18 chapters. Who is Mia? First 18 chapters 1 through 41. Who loves Mia, right? And then all 3 chapters, is there enough of Mia to go around?
That's awesome.
Right. So I did that to help it sell because, I think my first book launch event, which was at Sisters Uptown Bookstore, I sold 62 copies. But when you come from a huge family and you live in New York, your book launch is in New York, all your family and friends have been waiting 12 years for this book you've been saying you're writing. I have family members coming in on a bus to buy the book, right? But after you sell it to your cousins and your aunties, you got to sell it to people who don't know you.
Right. That's business right there. After you've done business with everybody that knows you and hopefully likes you, now you gotta go talk to other people, which means hopefully you build something.
I'm saying, so and just trying to get to that understanding. One, I gotta thank Omar Tyree because I was part of the Congressional Black Caucus in 2014, and Omar Tyree at the time was one of my favorite authors. And now he wrote Fly Girl. He wrote For the Love of Money, which was a sequel to Fly Girl. He also wrote Just Say No, which was a book with a music soundtrack that was from the 90s. So when he wrote it and did it with the music soundtrack, and it was something that I had wanted to do since 1990, and I saw him do it 5 years later, I was like, oh, but I gotta buy it and see how he did it, So I supported his work. Like, I got Leslie, all like as many different books that he released was as many different books as I would buy, and I would go to Barnes and Noble and I would stand on a long line and I would get that book because at the time there weren't a lot of Black authors who were selling books at Barnes and Noble's, Borders, Coliseum Books, but Omar Tyree.
None of them exist anymore.
I'm sorry?
Can you believe it? None of those places exist anymore.
No, they don't. Coliseum Books is gone. Borders had a dedicated African American book section. They're gone. I loved the Borders. That was my favorite.
Oh my gosh, girl. I would spend hours in Borders.
They used to have the chairs, the little cushy chairs. Oh my gosh.
I would go to the one on 57th Street. That was across the street from Citibank, which was a mistake because I'd go in the Borders, spend up all my money, and then go across the street, get some more money, and go back and buy more money.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. And then Barnes & Noble's that was in Bay Plaza, you could just go in there.
That was huge. That's where I went for Omar Tyree's book signing for Leslie. And I have bought 2 copies of the book, got them both autographed by Omar. And the second copy was for my cousin Leslie.
Wow. And the Coliseum bookstore, when you just wanted something that was different, the only bookstore that's still around is the Strand all the way downtown.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, there is a couple of Barnes and Nobles. There's a couple in Brooklyn, and I think there's a couple in Brooklyn, and I think I ran into one in Queens.
There's one on Union Square too. That's huge. But
yes.
But the thing, and there's also Court Street, Brooklyn, and there's also I think Pike Street in Brooklyn.
Yep.
So I've actually had books in all three of those. I had Union Square had love changes, Court Street had love changes, and I think Pike Street, I think it is in Brooklyn, had love changes. But that's a whole nother story and journey on the brick and mortar bookstore. What that part of the leg of the journey is like is different.
It is different. But you know what, Eartha, we could clearly talk for the next 2 hours. But listen, everybody, you just had a wonderful time with Eartha Watts Kitt about the journey, not only as a creative, but also just as a businesswoman, a literary businesswoman, because that's what she is. And I hope that you were able to glean some gems and still support these local bookstores that is few and far between, because, there's nothing like holding a book in your hand. And by the way, I was a person that went on vacation that had 12 books in my bag that I was reading on vacation. So I understand because there's nothing like holding a book in your hands.
Exactly.
But Eartha, I want to thank you so much for joining us on this last hour. And so again, Eartha is the author of, tell us again about your book and where the place we can find it on Amazon, I'm assuming. Where else can we find it?
Okay, my book, Love Changes, is available in New York City. It's available at Sisters Uptown Bookstore in Harlem, which is on the corner of 156th Street in Amsterdam. Shout out to Jennifer and Corey. It's also available at the Schaumburg Library Bookstore. So the Schaumburg Bookshop has it.
Okay.
It's also available on Amazon. I have a shortened link, which is www.tinyurl.com/Love Changes novel. And I'm also the author of Graffiti Mural, which is my collection of poetry, short stories, and personal essays. Graffiti Mural, and you can find that Amazon, www.tinyurl.com/Graffiti Mural Book. You can connect with me across social media at Eartha Tone, EARTHA. T is in Tom, O N is in Nancy, E is in Edward. And there I am. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, clearly this was written just for you. Genius is common. And I'm glad that I've got to meet you on the other side.
Thank you.
You have a great rest of your night.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight here on the Black Business Expo. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed that time we had with Eartha. Wasn't that amazing? Now, the Black Business, I just want to take a time before we close out this evening to talk about, what is near and dear to the hearts of us here at the Black Business Expo. The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K-12 entrepreneurs. The Expo is a fundraiser for students, and you can go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund or to use Cash App that's on the screen below and say $BBX USA. Now, our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students you can register online at the www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. There you go. Tongue is getting tied. Now, every dollar counts. So we want to remind you that that doesn't matter if it's $1 or several dollars with a couple zeros behind it. Just to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. Now, we also want to take time to thank our Black Business Expo USA sponsors for February 2024. NC 100, Moody Capital Partners, Suede Soul, Lotus Rishi Coaching and Training, Carolina Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, Step Management, BHS, and Associates, Margie McLean Foundation, Inc., Hello, LLC, Genius is Common, Earth Essentials, Mullane Shiny Global, Executive Women's Success Institute, The Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Services, Creative Force Studios, Lee Entertainment, Artistic App Design, Black Business Expo USA. Remember, genius is common, and we will see you on the other side. You have a great rest of your evening.
Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school, all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black business. I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black Business. I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black Business. I am Black Business.
Phenomenal Tanya T. Wise, who is here from the great state of Maryland. Tanya, welcome and thank you for being with us today. Can you indulge our audience a little bit and tell them just a little bit more about who you are and what it is that you do?
Well, I love being able to talk to people and have a magnetic attitude, being able to just show them. So I always like to say, level up is Coach at Tanya T. Wise here.
So can you tell our audience, just give them a teaser about what your presentation will be about?
So my philosophy is that we should all be living our dream life. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about how you start living your dream life. What are some of the things that you thought about in your childhood that you just kind of let go and dormant?
Wow.
And I want to reignite that and just give you some pointers and some tips, some tools, some strategies to be able to start living your best life now. And guess what, Rhonda? And leave it inheritance for your legacy.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I know that's resonating with a lot of people. I've heard that you have a dynamic coaching program. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So our coaching program help people that have the lack of time, that lack strategies, and lack the confidence to go after their dream life. So we help them implement tools, we help them implement strategies, as well as give them resources so that they can live their best life now and leave that inheritance.
Wow. Oh, I love that. I love the leave the inheritance part. Listen, you are dropping some major nuggets, and I know a lot of what you're saying is resonating with a lot of people, but I think we're all curious. How did you even make this transition into the speaking and coaching arena? What's the story behind this?
So I started out in finance, and I realized that a lot of people don't necessarily go after their dream life because of the lack of finances or the education behind finances. But it wasn't until I lost my firstborn, my only son, that life changed for me. And where I was going after it all, living the corporate life, hit my 6-figure income and living in my dream house with my dream man, driving my dream car. I nearly lost it all when I lost my son. And so I realized it only takes one financial catastrophe that can change your entire life. That's what made me start All New Beginnings. Because no matter what's going on in life, there's a new beginning. And because of that, we develop a program called Wise Minded. My little slogan is, don't just dream it, let's live it.
If they want to connect with you or work with you, what is the best ways for them to be able to do that?
Well, for my social media guru, you can connect with me on every single social media platform as Tanya T. Wise.
Hey guys, my name is Caden. I'm the CEO of Caden Teaches, and my genius is teaching kids about financial literacy. throughout my financial products, such as my financial flashcards, my activity book, and my newest project, my financial bus, which I bought. And on the bus, it has a mock bank where kids will learn how to deposit and withdraw money, a mock grocery store where kids will be able to learn how to have a family budget, and a mock stock exchange where kids will even be able to learn how to invest in stocks. Now, I decided to start teaching kids about financial literacy because I find that most kids graduate high school without even knowing the basics about financial literacy. And I feel if I were to teach kids about financial literacy, that I would be able to help kids tap into their genius. And I actually learned about financial literacy to my dad because I would go to business meetings with him and I would always see that they were talking about financial literacy. And at that point, I didn't understand what financial literacy was. So I took it upon myself to learn about financial literacy and teach it to kids in a way that they could understand. But I want you guys to help me help kids tap into their genius by going to my website, cadenteaches.com, and you can sew into me in my financial bus by going to my GoFundMe link. And remember, if Caden can, you can too, because genius is common.
Follow the Brand TV broadcast host, Grant McGaugh, as he visits with top executives and entrepreneurs to find out their secrets of success with their personal brand. Follow the Brand TV broadcast host as he focuses on brand development to build better relationships, bring value to your business, relationships, and career. You will enjoy listening to each episode that is tailored to speak to you directly. If you're looking for this type of clarity in terms of building your brand, you have tuned into the right station. Each episode will help you to shape a conversation in the 5-star BDM network of 20,000 professionals and become a springboard for your corporate engagement and business opportunities. Each guest will frame their story in the areas of personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, and technology innovation. Grant McGaugh explains why he is the CEO and owner of his own professional career. Grant is an accomplished business leader and entrepreneur who wants to give back to individuals to grow their personal brand strategy. Tune in as he weaves his story about new possibilities, while to you exceed expectations. If you love storytelling, this show will make for fun.
Hi, I'm Carolyn.
I am from Washington, D.C., but I was raised in Durham, North Carolina. I came to Durham when I was about 5 or 6, and then I traveled back and forth to D.C. because it's where my people are from. One of the unique things about my family is my mother, she's also an artist. She does quilting, and she does a lot of artistic things. And then my son, he draws with both hands, his right hand and his left hand, like I do. So that's kind of a family trait. And then my other son, he's a videographer, and my daughter, she works, she's a regional vice president for Sunglass Lab. When you start out drawing and sketching, you want to continue to explore, each avenue. I do pastels, I do pen and ink, I do painting, I do acrylics. I haven't done oils yet. But I try to do all facets of art. What I say to a lot of times to people is, you can't put yourself in a box when you're an artist. You have to explore. And over the course of my life, I've tried to explore different mediums. I also do sculpture as well. I choose my subjects by the intensity that they have in their faces, or the intensity that somebody is moving, because I do more than portrait drawings. I also do I do abstract, and then I do figurative drawing also. Well, what happened in this particular show is that I started out trying to come up with something that would be a little bit different than what everybody else is doing. So I was working on a Barack Obama show, and they wanted me to do some paintings of Barack. And so what I did was, because of the deadlines, I kind of did it kind of fast. And then I realized when I was doing it fast, I enjoyed it. And so then I started doing other pieces the same way, and I started to enjoy those pieces also. And so I came up with this particular style, and it's a style of lines and colors. And what's interesting is that when I was in college, I did a show called Lines, Colors, and I talked about the boldness of the blacks, the hotness of the whites, and this is how this has come about, later on in my life. And the colors comes from a lot of the entertainers that I work with, where they wear different colors. They don't wear, your plain reds or your whites. They wear different colors, and so that's also another piece of what's giving me the colors. The subtitle of this show is Faces That Speak Life. That's real critical. Faces that speak life. Each one of these pieces is a life source and a life energy that's being put on display for people that are looking at them. I always say in terms of my art, it's not important that I draw them. It's important what you get out of what I draw. I don't try to just draw it because you like it. People wanted me to do prints. I didn't do prints. People asked me to do different people, but the people that I choose are people that make a difference in the lives of people in the world. So the human landscape idea was, again, as I say, the lines represent your emotions, it represents your ideas, and it represents your journey as a human being. And that's why you get the different pieces and the different looks. And as you notice, I try not to do one look that looks alike another look. And that's what's the most important part of this show.
The Black Business Expo is changing my life. This year, they are giving away laptops and even $5,000 in cash to students just like me. I'm Alexis, and I want to go to college to fulfill my dream of becoming an entrepreneur. Help the Black Business Expo going to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com and also becoming a vendor, a sponsor, or donating.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
Good evening, business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Marak Hicks, and I am your business moderator for this evening on the Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. This week, we are hosting the literary edition of the Black Business Olympics, showcasing writers, authors, speakers, publishers, agents, and literary enthusiasts. Up next, we have Ms. Chiamaka Osebu. Chiamaka is an experienced teacher with a demonstrated history of working in primary and secondary education industry, skilled in management, customer service, classroom instruction, sales, and classroom management. She is a professional with a bachelor's degree in human services from the University of Delaware, along with a master's of arts in teaching, focused in elementary education from Relay Graduate School of Education. In 2019, Chiamaka was inspired to write her debut daily devotional. And in addition to that, following the next year, she opened an online bookstore called Balanced Books to showcase works and literary pieces from other artists and authors around. I introduce to you Miss Chiamaka Osepu. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for that beautiful intro. I appreciate it.
Of course. We're so happy to have you. Okay. So I want to get started. I have a couple questions to ask you because I really would love to pick your brain. Let's start talking a little bit about your book. So in 2019, you wrote this devotional. What inspired you to start the decision to become an author? And then what did your process look like from there?
Okay. So in 2019, I wrote this devotional. I have it here, enjoying my journey. It just inspired, I was inspired by just years of writing in a journal, writing short stories. When I was in elementary school, I actually won like a session to go sit with a prominent author in Pennsylvania and like sit in one of his writing classes because my teacher has selected my writing. So writing has been something that I've been passionate about, not only like, as a student, but in my personal life as well. And I just thought, I think maybe I could write something that people would be inspired by, that would maybe help uplift people, that could give people a chance to feel seen, and just to know that there are other people on their journey as well. And so that's what inspired it.
That's amazing. So you put this book out. It's an incredibly raw experience to put your work out to the world. What has been the reception that you received post writing the book?
Oh my goodness. So I received so much support. Congratulations. People that I hadn't spoken to in years purchased the book and were writing me, telling me how it really helped them to, start their journey. It was just a really interesting experience because I self-published the book. So I published it through Amazon. And I didn't know how that was going to go. I'm like, usually I'm used to seeing, press and pretty much big companies, like big publishing companies behind authors. So I didn't know how it was going to be with me trying to do it on my own, but it ended up being just, a warm, introduction into, being an author. So I appreciate how many people support and continue to support, my book. And it's just inspired me to, eventually write more.
Amazing. When you wrote the book, what were you hoping your audience would get from it? And what are some things that you were hoping that people would actively do with the book once they purchased it?
Okay, so the book is primarily about just enjoying your, journey in your Christian walk with Christ, right? So that was my goal, was just to kind of write from the perspective of a new believer and kind of just give people the rundown of how, you go from accepting this new, idea, lifestyle to, walking it out daily, to going through trials, through, having your beliefs and your actions and your words and your thoughts and everything changed and things sitting in your spirit, and, really transitioning from just, religion to a relationship. So I wanted other people to feel seen and to know that, this is an ongoing experience, to know that other people have also, gone through this journey and that it's a lifelong journey. And so that's just what inspired me.
Sounds amazing. And when you decided to self-publish, what would you say is the biggest feat that you had to overcome when self-publishing your book?
I think just being able to read in between the lines when it came to, I didn't have a physical person, walking me through the process. I pretty much had to go with what I saw on the website and just figure out the meanings of different words, what the process, what I had to go through, how to edit my book, how to make sure it was sized correctly, how to make sure my draft was, on par with, something that would be, because you go through an approval process with Amazon. So you submit your draft fully sized correctly, all of that, and they determine whether it's ready to be published or not, right? And so just going through that process repeatedly. And I think like I was definitely not ready for that. I thought it would be, a lot simpler, especially because, they marketed it so well, it'd be so easy to self-publish. No, there's a lot more that goes into it. And, it's definitely for people who really want to get their work out there and are really driven to do so despite obstacles, because it can feel really hefty as you're going through the process, just trying to figure out all the moving pieces.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
What advice would you give to younger authors, maybe children or students who are really excited about the concept of writing? What advice would you give to them about starting their journey as an author?
Oh my goodness. I would tell them to keep all of their writing, even if it's just journal entries, even if it's something that, some of their thoughts that they just scribbled down, like after school. I would tell them to keep all of their writing, get a journal where they write consistently. I would tell them to, I would tell them to make sure that they completely are devoted to this walk of, being an author, as far as like just being able to put their work out there, and being confident in their work. I'm sorry, I have a little one, so
It's
she
okay.
is
It is okay.
not right now, Mama.
Mommy.
Not right
I
now.
need to
Not
ask
right
you.
now.
I need to ask you, please.
It's okay. So yes, I think that what she said was absolutely right. It's really, really important to make sure that you're spending your time really keeping access to your writings from the past and keeping access to some of the content that you've previously created, having your journal entries. It's really important because it's beneficial to make sure that you have that information to tap into as well. So really excited about that. I also just, piggybacking off of what she said, writing is really a craft. It's something that needs to be perfected. So as you spend your time, just taking the time out to make sure that you're actively writing it continuously is also beneficial. So thank you so much for that. Any other tidbits of advice that you wanted to offer?
So I would also just say, just being confident that your voice matters. Just knowing that everything that you have to say, whether big or small, is important. And also to focus on who is meant to receive your words, because I think one thing I did was get caught up in like, oh, I want all these people to read my work. I want all these people to, accept it. But what it really comes down to is that the right people who are meant to receive your work will find it, number one. And two, they will receive it the way that you intended. So just being confident in knowing that whatever you put out there and knowing that it's authentic, it's genuine, will be received by the right people.
That sounds amazing. That's amazing. So let's talk a little bit or shift gears now. So you're a writer, you've written this book. You're also an avid reader and had a passion for books. So you decided to take the bull by the horns and open up a bookstore. Tell us about your process of opening your bookshop, and tell us a little bit about Balance Books and your mission.
So the process for me started off on Google. Pretty much just Googling like, how would I start? How would I create a bookshop if I wanted to start online, right? Because most people are used to physical space bookshops. And so I knew that I wanted to be online because I was opening it up during the pandemic. So I knew that, that would be a way for people to be able to access literature during that time. And so I started on Google, kind of just looking up the process. And then, the first thing was creating the LLC. Then it was forming the partnerships with different publishing houses so that I could have my inventory. Then it was, creating the website. then the Instagram page and Facebook pages, deciding whether I wanted to make it available for customers to be able to purchase via social media, or if I just wanted them to be able to purchase through my website, deciding whether I wanted to just have my physical inventory, or if I also wanted to partner with places like bookshop.org and Libro FM to extend my inventory from not just my physical but to access to unlimited, books and audiobooks. So those are also the decisions that I made, and I took those in stride. So it really was just one at a time. So mostly just brainstorming what I wanted it to look like, who I wanted this platform to be available to, and how I thought best I could make it so that I could get books into as many hands of people as possible.
What is your process for selecting the authors that you feature on the website or on your shop?
So on the storefronts with Libro FM and bookshop.org, it's pretty much just I try to create book lists based off of, it might be the season, it might be like, centered around Black History Month or Women's History Month, or it might be just, some books that I loved, as, my summer picks or New Year picks, or it might be books that I see are getting a lot of attention, or books that I'm anticipating and I know other people in the literary community are anticipating. And as far as, the authors, I really just want to put anyone's work out there who wants their work to be seen. Mm-hmm. So I am just looking to create a space where literature can be accessed easily, where, people have different options, and where, authors are able to showcase their work, and have people be able to have access to it easily and to be able to, profit off of that, right? So I right now don't have a specific process. I really want to be able to take as many, authors, especially self-published, as I can. So I'm kind of just opening it up, and usually I like to read the work first, just to make sure, even though I don't really have like a guideline or anything of what I'm looking for, because I just want to create that space for authors to be able to be seen and heard. I just like to be able to read the work first so I can be familiar with it, and so that I can showcase it the best way possible on my site.
Got it. And I took a look at the site. You've done an incredible job of featuring a number of authors who are African American or people of color on the platform as well. Has there been any difficulties with showcasing authors, Black authors on the platform? Are you seeing that you're seeing less Black authors? Are you seeing more Black authors now that you've opened up your own bookshop? What has that experience been like?
Honestly, I am seeing less Black authors who are, I guess, looking to start small, looking to put their, work on, like a independent bookstore website, versus trying to go into those, big publishing houses and, get into Barnes and Noble, like, Amazon, different, areas like that. And it's been surprisingly difficult to find, authors who, are willing to send me, their work, or to give me a link of where I could purchase, their book, so that I could, place it on my, website as part of my inventory. So honestly, what I would like to see is just an increase in, Black authors, finding balanced books and giving me the opportunity to showcase their work.
Well, you're here this week. We are full of Black authors all week long, so we're happy to have you. I'm going to shift gears just a little bit. So books are books and literary works are a part of the way that culture is established today. And as a result of that, it also can be influential in social justice and racial equality. In what ways do you think literature contribute to the discussion about racial equality, and social justice?
Well, honestly, books are a way to get your thoughts and, feelings and emotions out when it comes to, big ideas like, race and politics, right? It's a way we have freedom of speech in this country, right? Or, supposedly we do. And books are the way to showcase that, right? Um, a lot of times there's this narrative that gets pushed that, we within the Black community don't read, or, we're not fond of reading, or, a lot of us are not, um, even literate enough to go pick up a book about, um, politics or, racial issues. And honestly, I think that that is the most influential way to get your thoughts across, right?
Mhm.
And to reach larger audiences because, you know, unfortunately, now we're getting into a space where, our work is being policed with these book bans, right? But before now, um, your work, your literary works were uncensored, honestly. That was a way to really say what you needed to say and say it in a way where, the person down the street can understand, to, people who may not be, a part of our community can also understand as well. And I think it's, really important that we continue to use our words, continue to use our words and use literature to, bring awareness.
Yeah. So I have another question for you about the book bans. You kind of hit the next question I had on the head. You teach little people. So
I
what has
do.
that experience actively been like as well? And what are some ways that you're incorporating other cultural writings inside of your classroom so that way the students that you teach can see themselves through the books that they have?
Okay. So for me, luckily, I guess the book bans have not really touched the younger students that I teach as much. The only book has that I've really come into contact with as far as like, my teaching journey, are Charlotte's Web and The Hate You Give. So those two books were, books that I wanted to use in my classroom, and unfortunately, because they were on that banned book list, I was told that it might be best if I don't use them. We don't want to rile any families up. We might want to, make choices that were safer as far as, not creating any, political, racial tension, right? And it really bothered me, honestly, because Charlotte's Web is, a classic, right? It's something that we've all grown up on. Some of us has probably watched the movie depictions of it, and the reason why that's on the banned books list is because of, the deep grappling with death. That's something that, some of these kids are experiencing on a regular basis in real time, right? They're experiencing death in not a beautifully written way. They're experiencing it right in front of their faces, and, their families, sometimes with their friends, right, sometimes on school premises, you know. And so the fact that that would be placed on that list just because of that aspect is ridiculous to me, and then I think it's frustrating that people are so scared to address the bigger issues of, race in this country, that you would use a book like The Hate You Give, to push the agenda of pretty much wanting to cover up the history, of this country, to cover up the things that, people across the, Black diaspora have experienced. And it's frustrating as an educator because I know what having access to a lot of different books and genres have done for me, especially with Toni Morrison being on that list.
Yeah.
Toni Morrison has been just a pillar to, my reading journey, right? And just my life journey. And it's especially The Bluest Eye. That book was so eye-opening to me, and the fact that now, younger students will not even get a chance to be able to open that book up, in schools or to have discussions about it in the classroom is disheartening to me. But for me as an elementary educator, I just push as much as I can to, when I get that Scholastic catalog, because they usually tell us where they want us to, purchase books from and, that type of thing. When I get that Scholastic catalog, I'm looking up every single book that has Black and brown babies, Indigenous people, Latin American, Hispanic, like I'm looking Asian, I'm looking for books that on purpose have people from different cultures, different ethnicities, different backgrounds, because I want every single student that walks into my classroom to be able to see themselves in our library. And for me, right now, the struggle in elementary education is giving students that gift of loving to read, right? So I'm at the space teaching second grade where, some students have, bought into this mindset of, oh, I hate reading. I don't like reading. I don't like books. But I always tell them, you just haven't found the right one. You haven't given this a try yet, and it's magical to be able to watch a child go into my classroom library, find a book and say, oh, this person looks like me. I'm like, absolutely. And have them be interested in reading that book and then, jumping into reading because they simply see a character that looks just like them, right? Or like someone that they know or someone who's close to them, right? And now I'm actually in a space like in my curriculum where I'm teaching my students to step into the stories and teaching them that they can go on adventures through books, right? And it's amazing the access that, you can give your students just by letting them know that you don't necessarily have to, have the money, all the money in the world to be going on trips every week. You can read these books and be in Barbados today, be in England tomorrow, be in South America the next day, and right back in Atlanta, Georgia, right? So giving them that access to literature that allows them to truly time travel across continents, right? From their classroom to, their homes, it opens up a new world for students.
So with that perspective in mind, what advice would you give to authors, not only ones who are interested in joining your shop, but authors who are writing for children? What advice would you give to them about how to push forward, even though these bans are happening, and how to keep, maintaining the work that they've been doing?
I would honestly tell them to put out the work, put out their authentic work. Please, please continue to put it out. Push through the process, push through, any obstacles, push through the trials, push through the challenges, because we need you. We need you. We need your words. We need your illustrations. We need your settings. We need the problems. We need the resolutions. We need them. We need all of it, right? Because there is a baby in a classroom who is waiting on your work to touch their fingers, to be able to go into their classroom library or to their local library or to their local bookshop or online bookshop and be able to find a book that touches them on multiple levels, right? There are children who don't know that they love to read yet, and your book might be what allows them to experience that love for reading.
That makes a lot of sense. So let's jump back into the bookstore just a little bit more. So you are actively selling the books through your platform. You sell them on social. What was that experience like? I guess making sure that you're highlighting the authors on social media. What are some of the things that you actively do to market the website and the authors that you're featuring?
I primarily use Instagram, and I utilize the Instagram stories because you can put links directly. You can embed links directly in Instagram stories, right? And I feel like that has been the most effective with being able to not only plug the authors and their social media, but to be able to put a picture of their book, then a link, a direct link where, the whoever is viewing the story can click that link and go right to a hardback copy of the book or right to the audiobook version, right? Or an ebook, right? I think that has been the best way that I have been able to not only showcase authors, but to be able to make their books accessible to my audience.
That makes a lot of sense. And then what, being Black History Month, what is one adult book and one children's book that you want to highlight or that you've enjoyed this month thus far?
Okay. So one adult book, I have a whole bunch of books right next to me, actually. So, oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just gonna put two up. So one is I'm sorry, this is not Americana. This is Half of a Yellow Sun. But anything by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is amazing. I love her writing style. She is Nigerian, just like me. So I love reading her books because it keeps me in touch with, my culture and my background, but she just writes so beautifully. So definitely that. Brown Girl, Brown Stone.
Okay. Paula Marcia.
Yes. This is a classic. I think this should be on every single person's book list. And it just touched me in so many different ways. As far as children's books, I just feel like Hair Love was brilliant. Being a girl mom myself, like I love reading that to my daughter because she is able to see herself so clearly in those pages. Even to the different hairstyles that, the characters in the book try. We have gotten so many different hairstyles from that book that she's asked me to try on her. I would definitely say that that's a must. I would say I'm not able to recall the exact title right now, but it is a book about Mae Jemison.
Okay.
My students have loved it every single time that I read it out loud. Right now, my school is doing this event where we have mystery readers come in and read books to it's parents and family members who come in and read books to our students, and a lot of them have wanted to choose that book. So if I'm able to find the title, I will go ahead and see if I can kind of link it in so people can go grab it. But yes, definitely those would be my recommendations.
Let's talk about the future of Balance Books and you as an author. So what are you looking to achieve moving forward? What do you have upcoming with Balance Books? Are you looking to do something new? Are you taking over a new adventure? Tell me a little bit about that.
So right now I'm looking to just revamp my website. So I have a main website, balancede.com. It's right now under construction just because I want to, make some changes to it. But I am looking to get more involved in my community. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm just looking to kind of engage more with a physical inventory. And go into schools, do some markets, things like that, where I'm able to just provide books. Right now, I want to have the bookstore itself up still, but I actually want to move into more of just providing free books. I want to be able to kind of just what my vision is to get a bus of some sort and just really ride through neighborhoods and do read alouds and then offer free books, right, to children and adults. And so that's really the vision that I have in my head. And I'm kind of just trying to figure out how I want to put that together. But my main goal with Balance Books, honestly, has never been the financial gain. It's really just been getting books into the hands of people, honestly. Like my goal is to create a community of book lovers, one book at a time, and making literature accessible to all age groups. So I'm just really looking for ways that I can, start getting more getting back into posting on social media. I'm looking to hopefully do a book club, a virtual book club in the future, numerous virtual book clubs. Those are really just the plans. I really want to create a community around balanced books and to really serve my community.
Makes sense. And then for you as a writer, do you have any upcoming works? Are you thinking about writing book number 2? Where are you with that journey?
I have honestly been thinking about writing book number 2, and the main idea that I'm thinking of is writing a book as far as the importance of your name.
Mhm.
So, I said earlier that I am Nigerian. My name is Chiamaka. It means God is good in Igbo. And for a while, I did not like my name. And most of the reason why I did not like it is because people made it seem like it was hard to pronounce, right? And I didn't know the meaning.
Mhm.
Once my mom told me the meaning, I was like, oh, nobody can ever mess up my name again. I'm going to pronounce it correctly, and
Mhm.
I'm going to correct people when they pronounce it incorrectly. And I really want to write a book centered on just highlighting, like, what's in a name,
Mhm.
like, what's the importance of your name? Like, how can you really, hold that close and allow your name and, like, meaning behind the name or the meaning that you create
Mhm.
for your name to lead you. So.
That's amazing. Alrighty, Chiamaka, where can we find your website? Where can authors reach out to you? How can authors reach out to you if they're interested in showcasing or getting in touch with you to put their books on your platform? Where can they find you?
So you can find me on Instagram at balancebooksde. On that website, on the Instagram page, you can send me a direct message. I am very responsive. I am looking at it myself, so your inquiries will come directly to me. Just be prepared to provide me with a link where I can get your book, because what I like to do is purchase the books at full price so that you are getting your full money, right? And make them available like on my platform that way. You can also, if you are looking to support Balanced Books, you can, once you go on the Instagram, you can go to our link tree, which is linktree/balancede, and you can access our storefront through bookshop.org right now, or our audiobooks through Libro FM. Right now, the main Balanced Books website, balancede.com, is under construction. So you can type it in, it'll come up, but it'll show, you don't have access to it right now. So the best way would be going through the Instagram page and contacting me through there.
Okay. And where can people buy your book? Where's your book, your current book? Where is that at?
So my book is available on my bookshop.org storefront.
Okay.
And it's also available on Amazon. It is called Enjoying My Journey by Chiamaka Ama Osebu, and you can find it in those places.
Alrighty. Well, Chiamaka, it has been an absolute joy having you on. Really appreciate you sharing everything that you did about your journey, your book, your time writing. I also really enjoyed hearing a little bit about your time as a teacher and how books have impacted your classroom and some of the ways that you've been managing and dealing with some of the book bans. We really appreciate you coming on the platform. I think one more time, where can people find you? Email address, and then your Instagram name again.
Okay. You can find me personally at chia.ama on Instagram. That's where I am. You can contact me through Balanced Books DE on Instagram and my email address is cosegbu@gmail.com if you'd like to shoot me an email there as well.
Okay. Well, thank you again so much for joining us this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. We really appreciate you coming out this evening. And with that said, genius is common, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K-12 entrepreneurs. The Expo is a fundraiser for students. You may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund, or use the Cash App on the screen below, and that is $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give up to $5,000 and laptops to 10 students. Students who are interested can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. So we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. We also want to thank our Black Business Expo USA sponsors for February of 2024. Those are NC 100, Moody Capital Partners, Suede Soul, Lotus Rocher Coaching and Training, Carolina, Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, Step Management, BHS and Associates, Marjorie McLean Foundation Incorporated, 5-Star BDM Media, Hello LLC, Genius is Common, Earth Essentials, Mullane Shania Global, Executive Women's Success Institute, The Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Services, Creative Force Studios, Lee Entertainment, Artistic App Design, Black Business Expo USA, Genius is Common, and I'll see you on the other side.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business. I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
What if you could build your own city? A place where every child can find nurturing people to help them achieve their full potential. A place where every adult can access job training support, where health education is abundant, where social justice ruled the land. A place without limitations. Welcome. You have arrived at STEM City USA. It is what every city should be. A safe and trusted community where you find people and resources to help you become everything you are and beyond. STEM City is unlike anything you have ever experienced. It is a digital twin of the world around you, only better. STEM City is about energy and soul renewal. It is more than a digital world. You can almost feel the power of live cultural events, music, and theater. STEM City promises a better future for children with caring mentors and hands-on activities with dedicated tutors to support our youth. STEM City is your passport to a healthy lifestyle with weekly events addressing our community's many issues. STEM City is your financial well-being with helpful information on wealth management, career advancement, job training, and so much more. STEM City is the community you deserve. It is the city where your dreams can come true. STEM City USA, a place in the sky that is accessible to all who reach for the stars.
like you to imagine with me, if you will, opening an app where you can collaborate with like-minded individuals from around the world, get inspiration and in-app tools to launch and grow your business, as well as share your knowledge and earn compensation, all in one app. Well, the name of that app is Truso, short for Truly Social. Hi, I'm Matthew Newman, the founder and CEO of Truso. A new concept in social media, Truso is designed from the ground up to be a platform that's both social and empowering for all its users. How exactly do we do that? I'm glad you asked. First, Truso brings the world together via video. Psychologists assert that video provides a significantly more effective connection than audio only. When you enter a community on Truso, you're face-to-face. Second, on Truso, you don't have to have 1 million followers to monetize. Our business model allows all hosts and moderators to monetize, no matter the size of your following, by 1, producing fee-based content, and 2, inviting others to join the platform as subscribers. Even more, Truso has an in-app resource library with over 100 free resources, forums,